Sorry. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what's going on. Do I not? When do I start my streams? This is a genuine question. Did I not change it to 10 o'clock and did I not schedule it for 10 o'clock? I'm being so for real because YouTube gives me not a true time. Like when I go to schedule the streams, I have to schedule them for like 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. or something ridiculous because they don't give me the correct time zone. I'm 100%. Like, I think I just messed it up. This is so bad. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me that I made you all wait so long. Genuine problem. Not on a VPN. It's off. It's not on by default, so that's not my fault. It's literally YouTube. Come on, guys. I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct. Thank you all for waiting so patiently, even though some of you did not wait patiently. I see you. My bad. I was getting everything set up. I was writing my Atlas segment so I don't forget anything and ensuring my clips were all there. That is genuinely my bad. I fucked it all up. So anyway, thank you all for showing up to the Saturday morning Style Atlas stream. Very late, very apologetic. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I'm sorry for not being here last week. As I said in the post, the guy really just did not entertain me last week. He didn't do anything that I thought was worthy of showing up for and talking to you about. I didn't want to waste your time. It was all about you. The only thing that I could even think of that he said or did that was entertaining that I would have watched, we're going to wind up talking about today. So it's all going to get covered anyway. Technically 30 minutes early still. It's too late. We've already started. It's been at 10 East lately. Yes. Okay. So I am just early and I fucked it all up. Well, you get an early stream today then. You're welcome. All you early birds for my incapacity. Atlas segment before we get into DSP though, because it has been 2 weeks. I've been up to things. I've done a thing or two. I've basically been reading a lot since the guy's not been entertaining. Little Warhammer, a little something else here or there. Just trying to get my reading in. I did buy a book recently because I had a game store open up around here recently, not too far away, and my wife wanted to go, so we went ahead and went, and I found out that they have free shipping from the Black Library, the Warhammer company, and so I ordered another Warhammer omnibus, the Night Lord omnibus, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited to get into reading that. Real edgy Night Lord enjoyers, I'm sure, are rejoicing. And I also picked up, speaking of Warhammer, last week when I wasn't streaming, I decided to pick up Dawn of War, the 40K game from like way back in the day that they remastered not that long ago. And now I'm not usually an RTS enjoyer, but that game actually kind of kicks ass. I'm almost done with the first campaign out of like the 4 of them. And it's actually really enjoyable. I didn't expect to like it as much as I do. And I like it fits in a good time slot where I can only really play for about an hour at a time. So that's really convenient. Big ups Dawn of War for being super cool. I appreciate it. And speaking of super cool people, all of the people that became members or sent a couple of super chats while I was fiddle fucking around and screwing everybody over, I guess. Turtles Game Kingdom for the 28 months saying, "Wake up, old man. I'm here. I'm awake. The coffee is finally hit. I'm allowed to get on stream. Thank you." Snortle Combat with the 2 saying "Dirty brown water." As well with another 2 saying, "Hello, we're the Smooling Franz." Thank you for both those 2's, Snortle Combat. Big ups. I appreciate it. And now Ronan with the 2 saying Atlas late due to celebrating a May 1st burst early. No.
I'm a god.
And
How can you kill a god?
I thought about not naming the stream what I named it and not making the thumbnail as I did, because we do actually have a May 1st burst coming up. But I believe in one of these clips, we're going to talk about mega busting. And I'm going to be honest, I felt like I couldn't pass up on talking about mega busting. So that's what we're doing today. We'll still celebrate on the day or the weekend after, or however it rolls out. Thank you, the dupe, for the 2 months. Saying time to wake up. Wake up, Atlas. Wake up. And now we're here. So thank you for the 2 months to the dupe. Big ups. And to the guy, because he decided to start the week very excited with a great segment on a hot Monday morning.
Personally, I like the game, but I mean, at this point, we're over 10 hours in. I think we're like 12 plus hours into the game. And at this point, I'm wondering what's going to happen. Will we start to get less attendance and less engagement and less support for it? I would hope.
Jordan Fadeaway is asking how my motorcycle is doing. I need an oil change and I need to get it out. The weather has not been great. We've been flooding. We've been getting tornadoes, lightning, thunder, the whole 9 yards. So the motorcycle is still in the garage. It's been rough around here.
Halfway through the game.
We're in a flood warning, like pretty much all day today, yesterday, and tomorrow.
The game
it's pretty
ends
cool.
At level 20, and we're at like level 12. So a few more streams, we would probably actually hit that max level. But I don't know. Let's see how it goes tonight. Okay, this is an interesting week to see what's working, what's not, because we may want to take stuff out of the schedule to make more time for things that people want more of. We'll see together. All right? Okay, anyway.
So
Bilbo Swaggin says, I got banned in LTG's chat for asking how he felt about you getting such a big W on him. Well, why wouldn't he ban you for that? Obviously, he's butthurt about it. He literally unbanned me on X to send me a whiny message immediately after the April Fool's thing I did on him, and then he rebanned me on X before I could respond.
Rebanned him, not reblocked, rebanned him. But of course he would. Yes, he's going to call you a bunch of homophobic slurs and then he's going to reblock you, as you deserve. It's not worth letting DSP even respond. It's not going to be worth your time. It's not going to be funny. It's not going to be interesting. It's probably not even going to be worth talking about on LTG stream. Let's be honest. DSP is unremarkable in his comebacks, to say the least. It genuinely, him fighting back is at his own detriment, because he only ever looks stupider.
Like, he had to
more
say
stupid, I believe they call it.
Shut. I guess he thought I wasn't going to tell everyone that he did that, but of course I did, to embarrass him even further. So yeah, he knows that I got the W on him. He knows that I can continue to get the W on him forever, and there's nothing he can do about it because no one cares about his responses. They just make fun of him. So, you know, yeah. You're gonna.
All anybody ever does is make fun of LTG, but he's infinitely more charismatic. So, I mean, you got to count your blessings where you can. DSP wishes he was half as entertaining. Thank you, 5 Sleefa, I'm not sure, for the 25 months, saying DSP is definitely on some weight loss meds. One of my friends is on Ozempic, and his face is as pale as DSP's. Also, his bottom half is as baggy as his. I can neither confirm nor deny, but you guys can take this evidence with what you will.
Always get banned in his chat for saying stuff like
He's definitely an odd and unique melting individual.
No, I don't have a crush on LTG. It couldn't be further from the truth. I just like embarrassing it because it's very easy to do.
Right. I don't have a crush on the guy that I message at 3 a.m. That's totally believable and true and honest to DSP. Everyone thinks you're telling the truth.
Different impact when one of his regular detractors just keeps embarrassing him, or when someone who's, albeit an outsider like me, comes in and just watches the stuff for the first time and is like, what an embarrassing, guy, and makes fun of him. It's different. It hits differently. It gets people talking.
It hits different. He's built different.
Okay. Family Style Lasagna did a $2 super chat and says Hawaiian style shirts are homosexual dog whistles. You should know, being that you're a rampant homosexual and you seek out that kind of behavior, be an expert on it. Thanks for tuning in.
Look, I'm not saying every homosexual wears a Hawaiian shirt. Wait, I said it backwards. Not everyone who wears a Hawaiian shirt is a homosexual. But a lot of homosexuals be wearing Hawaiian shirts at certain times. If you know, you know. Don't ask me how I know. Don't worry about it. Don't ask too many questions, okay? I'm married. I have a wife. It can't be me. Thank you, Now Ronan, for the 5, saying, how did Phil get the infinite dubs on LTG when LTG literally forced Phil to change his wardrobe from gamer shirts to gay Hawaiian shirts? Well, there you go. See, someone else is backing me up here. Gay Hawaiian shirts. That's a great question. I think the mental gymnastics that you would have to do would go triple platinum, and you'd receive all of the medals if you understood. So if anybody is capable of such a feat, please let me know so that I can tell Now Ronan. Thank you, Now Ronan, for the 5. Yeah, first racket Marshalls, size
Not that there's
small,
anything
size
wrong with being a
medium.
rampant
True.
homosexual, I'm just saying.
One of
Okay.
LTG's better lines.
Oh, me too, Streamlabs Draven. He says, I love it when they send Phil money and just so they can try to troll. You know that they had to give money to troll. They lost the trade. I know. What you guys don't even realize.
They lost the trade.
I selectively choose
like it's a fighting game.
What I want to shout out. Because if I find it entertaining or something I can respond to in a silly way, like I just did to that super chat, I will. But these people, they constantly send stuff. They'll send like tips and stuff. I just don't read it.
But he does. He does read it. That's how he knows what he does and doesn't want to shout out. This idea that you could send DSP a super chat or a tip message and he's not reading it has always been the most retarded angle he's ever tried to come at this from. You have to have read it to deny reading it. That's just the way it has to work, brother. There's no way around that. This is I believe one of the biggest proofs that DSP literally lives in his own pignosis reality where up is not up and down is not down. That's the only way you can deny reading a message that you already decided you weren't going to read. How could you have decided? It doesn't make sense.
Grand and intoxicating innocence.
Thank you, Sweet Papa Stovepipe, for the 28 months, saying, damn, I'm actually on time for a morning Atlas stream. Big ups. Yeah, the day you're on time is the day I was not, I guess. That's my bad. I fucked it all up. Thank you for the 28 months.
I just don't pay any attention to it. And, you know, I keep the money. It's not like they get the money back.
You guys are right, though. Giving him money for a troll message is still tempted. Please, remember, you can absolutely get him to respond for free. You just have to say the right words. You have to press the right buttons in the chat, and he'll do it for free. Stop giving him money. This is true, but he does read it.
If you like the Pokemon Fire Red playthrough, guys, be sure to support it some way today, whether that's a like on the stream, whether that's a super chat or a membership like Momochai just did, whether it's some kicks like Bilbo Swaggins did, or maybe a sub or a gifted sub, or a tip via PayPal. All appreciated. I've loved this playthrough so far. I want to keep playing it as much as I have been.
I'm loving it. I'm liking it.
But I do need to know that you guys want it via support. That's how I know. So there you go. And then Family Style Lasagna did a $2 super chat.
And what did he say? Oh, we got a pre-read. Hang on. Family Style Lasagna might be getting it. I give more money
to bums on the street. How nice of you to actually help out your dad like that. That's to be applauded. Everyone applaud Family Style Lasagna. He actually helps out his dad.
It's so funny.
Good job. Okay.
Peak comedy. And by cutting out the music, we got rid of the clap. Fuck you, DSP. Every aspect of that joke did not hit. Big
and that's
L.
correct. Streamlabs Draven. He says, man, you got Lasagna so upset, he actually sent you another $2. I know. It's pretty funny. You think he means Demon Souls? Is it okay? Are we talking about the stupid Demon Souls thing? Which I thought, now you're really confusing me. Because I thought the accusation, which I don't know, I thought the accusation
I know nothing
is
about
that
it, guys.
Items in Demon Souls.
I know nothing about it except for exactly what it was about. Man, it's so weird how DSP's always so unaware of all of the drama and all of the gossip surrounding him, yet every time he goes to address it, he knows exactly what the drama is about. That's so weird. That's so odd. What a strange thing to have concurrently happen all of the time. So weird.
Right? I thought that's what people were saying. You duped items, which I don't know how to do. And I did not do. I did not do that at all. I just grinded like crazy, which at the time, everyone said that was cheating too. Basically, everyone said that no matter what I did was cheating. Okay? So with Demon Souls, what I would do is I would play the game during the day on stream. Well, not
right.
Well, yeah, on stream, right? I was streaming at that point, I think. When was my first Demon Souls run?
Framing the argument. Yeah, I'm gonna let him get through it, and then I will tell you about this video that I watched. Okay, you guys probably watched it too. I will tell you about this video I watched that I think pretty undeniably proves that this motherfucker cheated, and we have final questions at the end.
Demon Souls. Okay, is this the first run?
Yeah, building the straw man, more like. Yeah, it's true.
Yes, this is the first one right here. Okay.
We've got to build their argument from nonsense that he doesn't understand. And then we have to start punching the air vigorously. It was live streamed.
It was May 2013. So at this point, it was around 13 years ago.
Why is his audio like 144p? Well, okay, I'm going to tell you now. I'll tell the whole audience moving forward. Snort Hogan clips sometimes sound like that. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to go cut the clip myself, for I do not have the time anymore. I apologize.
Okay, I'm
That's
seeing
it.
right here
That's
on
all I'm
PS3.
saying on the
Here
matter.
I am. Okay, much younger, much chubbier. And I still had dark facial hair. So during this run, okay, I would play and stream the game during the day. And then after the day ended, all right, at night, when I was done with my gameplay, as that gameplay was already uploaded, I would multitask. So I would have on one screen, because in my living room, I had my TV and my entertainment center for all my gaming needs on one screen.
Oh
And then I
my
actually had my
god.
PC, which I used to upload, edit, and all things right next to it. With the
We got to walk you through the fucking layout of the original condo in Connecticut. You have to understand the layout in order for DSP's nonsense lies to make sense. That's how silly his defense is that you have like obscure things like condo layout is what we're worried about.
monitor. So I would actually be doing gaming on the TV while I would have something else going on the monitor that I would watch. Sometimes it would be movies or TV shows. Sometimes it would be like wrestling and stuff. Like that's what I used to do. And I used to drink. So I used to have like a giant rum and Coke. Like I told you guys, like this big, giant cup of rum and Coke. It was like rum and Coke Zero. And I would drink this while grinding away at a game. I remember doing this in game Blue Dragon. I remember.
Real talk, what's the point of a Coke Zero if you're drinking it in mass quantities with rum? Wouldn't you just enjoy Coke? Well, like Coke Zero, I don't think is a mixer unless you're diabetic or something. A very odd choice from the guy, just picking strange things.
We're doing this in Demon Souls. There's a few different games. Oh, Bloodborne, I did this as well. My first run in Bloodborne. All these, I did exactly the same thing, where I would play the game during the day, and then I would grind at night. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
So,
except
particularly, now, I couldn't tell you exactly where I grinded in Demon Souls except one part, because I remember doing it so often that I actually remember this by heart. It was the entry level, whatever world had the rolling skeleton guys.
right.
So whatever world has the rolling skeleton guys, that was the one. I would just run through the map, killing all the skeletons and going through and killing everything like real quick. And then I would just, end it and then go back in and do it again and then end it and then go back in. And I just kept doing it over and over and over for hours on end. I mean, I'm talking, there were probably nights where I finished streaming and then I immediately started doing this.
Right.
And it was kind of like a passive thing. Yeah, I was kind of paying attention, but I was watching a show at the same time. And I would do it for a long time. Like,
how long?
Those days, I probably would be up to like 4 or 5 in the morning. Seriously. Like, I would be so unhealthy.
Okay, so if you watch the video, and I'll be honest, I did not finish it. It's an hour and like 49 minutes, and I think I seen an hour and 17 or so while I was working, of course. And if you watch it, and this is why the guy should have watched it. This is why it's important every single time the guy decides to. So yeah, I didn't finish it. Sorry. This is why it's important every time the guy goes to address one of these claims or talk about one of these traumas, address the gossip. He probably should watch the videos to actually understand the circumstances. Because while he might not remember which levels he said that he was grinding on, the video does. Because they have the clips where he said so. They have all of the information for the amount of time in between the parts, exactly how many souls he gained, how many levels, how much that would have taken, and then they could calculate how long that would have taken in order for him to do that. Which why I said it's probably within his best interest that he watch it, because in order for him to have the results that he had during the playthrough, with the math that was done for the levels that he played on, the way that he said he played them, he would have had to have been streaming all day and then grinding for 9 or 8 hours after the stream into the evening. That's just not realistic. Brother is not playing 14, 15, 16 hours of Demon Souls in a day. He's just not doing it. And that would be at peak efficiency, where you're using the proper weapons in order to kill the enemies faster, you're properly moving through the level, and you have a path that is optimal. That's not DSP. That's never been DSP. He's never been capable of even putting together a route like that. There's just no way. Yes, and a guy with long hair putting it into words, he also would have had to have been playing 14, 15, 16 hours a day for 6 days consecutively in between the parts in order for him to have had the results that he had. It just doesn't add up. And this is double confirmed by the amount of items he had, the key items that he was missing, the levels that he could and couldn't go to based off of the game's mechanics. It's absolutely vital that he would have watched this video to address any of these aspects. But because he's so lazy, because he's so dumb, fucking stupid, retarded, he couldn't even bother to take an hour out of his day to watch half of it, like I did. Come on, DSP. It's like no effort whatsoever.
You know, I'd be up drinking and shit, and then passing out at some point, you know? So, and this would go on all week. It wasn't like, oh, I did it one day. It'd be like, I play the game and then I grind, and I play the game and then I grind. So over the course of probably the week I was playing Demon's Souls, I grinded like every night and just gained an insane amount of, souls doing that.
Yes, it's an insane amount because it just statistically does not make sense. If you tried to calculate this, the math would not math, as was done in the video.
And that's it. Like, that's really all there is to it. There's nothing else. There's nothing else to it. It's very simple. I have nothing else going for me. It was nothing else I was doing. You know, I lived alone.
But he says there was nothing else I was doing, but he told you he was also drinking and also watching wrestling or videos online or whatever the fuck. So he's actively distracted and still supposedly running this super premium optimum route that still doesn't make any sort of fucking sense. It's you can't believe this. This is utter nonsense. This is counter to reality in every aspect.
I had nothing else to do with my time. There's no reason to go to sleep because I was just going to wake up and make videos in the morning anyway, streams and videos, right? So what was the big deal? So that was my life.
What was the big deal?
Horrible lifestyle, admittedly. You know, doing that, staying up all night drinking and shit.
What a grand and intoxicating innocence.
You know, what can I do? I can't take it back now. Sure, I should have done better things with my life than sitting around drinking all night, grinding in Demon's Souls. Would have been a lot more healthy for me. But that's what it was. That simple.
Oh yeah, it's so unhealthy, you guys.
There's nothing else to it. Because people are, well, you duped. Duped what? I don't even know what that means. Duped items? How would that have helped me?
Dude, like the level of incompetence that we're trying to weaponize is astronomical. Dupe? I don't even know what that means. Dupe what? What could I have duped? I've never heard of this concept. This guy's been playing fucking video games for at least 20 years and apparently didn't understand the concept of duping. He just put it together live in front of you. Can you believe it? Oh my God.
Like,
thank you, Sid the Stoner, for the 4 months, saying you don't get it. He works 6 days a week full-time in his 40s. You don't think that he couldn't do it in his 20s, you dunce? Get it? Apparently I don't, because the math, it just ain't mathing.
I don't even know. How could duping of items help me in that playthrough? You have to gain souls by playing the game and killing enemies. So I don't even know what you mean.
I don't even know what you mean.
People are saying? So people are finally explaining it to me. They're saying I duped boss souls.
Yes.
I duped boss souls. Again, okay. All right, how about this?
How about this?
You guys explain to me in chat, how do you dupe items in Demon's Souls? And then I will tell you if I remember doing it or not. I totally 1,000,000%
great.
Do not recall duping anything. I don't know how to do it.
It's so fucking stupid. When the cop pulls you over, you know, and he goes, oh, you were driving recklessly. Would you hit him with the, okay, explain to me how I was driving recklessly, and I'll tell you if I did that. Like, you're just gonna fucking lie. You're gonna try and save face, you dumb fuck. What are you talking about? This guy lies about everything under the sun, about shit that doesn't even fucking matter. And now his gaming cred, his legitimate playthrough of Demon's Souls is on the line, as if anybody gives a fuck. And of course he's gonna deny it, dude. He has nothing else. He has nothing else other than his gaming credit and his legacy.
How do you dupe items in Demon's Souls? Let's hear it. Did you guys want to talk about this today? You're so concerned about it. How do you do it? What? Eddie Chill says, you talk to Thomas the Bam guy and fall off a ledge nearby and talk to him again or something.
Okay. So we're going to act completely bewildered by someone who doesn't even understand the process. And that's the individual we're going to pick out of the crowd, by the way. We're not going to pick somebody who actually sounds as though they know the process and is familiar with it so you could properly address it. We're going to call out somebody who's unsure themselves. Great, awesome, perfect, fantastic.
What? You do what? I've never
Just
heard of this.
acting confused.
You fall off a ledge. No, I've never heard of this before. I did at the time I was playing Demon Souls, I had no idea about any glitches or anything like that. No one told me shit. You know? The thing is, people, those games are so...
And he said, and again, this is why he should have watched the fucking video. Because in the video, at the beginning, I'm pretty sure it was within the first 15 minutes, there was several sections from the playthrough where DSP is vehemently denying duping souls. He was being accused of it even then, of duping these souls and cheesing the game in this way. So back then he was familiar with the concept. He was actively being accused of it, and he was definitely using guides on plenty of other games. It's not absurd that he would have watched a guide on how to dupe souls. And I asked my friend, my coworker, my former best man, who is far more familiar with Demon Souls. He played it way back in the day when he was a child. He even explained to me that duping souls back then, or duping any items back then in Demon Souls, was actually so easy he was capable of doing it without a guide and just doing hearsay from somebody that he knew. So well within DSP's ability, if you ask me, because he's willing to actually watch a guide.
Overanalyzed, right? Like, people have found so many speedrun strats and crazy shit that you could do in these games. You know me, I just fucking play
Former
it at face
best
value.
man. Yeah, I'm not actively being married, so I mean, it's not my best man anymore.
Man, and I'm the kind of guy, I beat my head against the wall to succeed, right? Like in Bloodborne. Did I learn how to parry? Of course not. That would make too much fucking sense. Instead, I grinded at the school, killing those fucking blob scholar guys for like 2 nights straight after I would stream to get artificial levels so that I could beat the game, instead of just learning how to play the game. Why? Because I'm a pig-headed idiot, right?
Right.
I'm stupid.
But this only gives more credence to the theory that he cheated, because this is a prime example of him rather cheesing the game instead of learning the mechanics and being better. That's also what I would describe duping fucking souls and items in a Souls game is. It's just cheesing the game instead of just being better and playing more optimally. Like, thanks for proving the point.
You know, today...
Thank you, Demi-Fiend, for the 2. Same guy who rage quit Persona 3 and watched Ending. True. That's the kind of gamer we're dealing with, and you're supposed to believe he's true and honest and never would have cheated in Demon Souls.
Hey, I do make an effort to try to learn
it.
how to play what I play, but back then I didn't give a shit. I just wanted to, you know, make progress. I'm so, how can I say? Not that I'm ignorant, but I'm just like stupidly pig-headed about stuff. I would much rather just, I'm going to grind this way. But Phil, you could do it more easily this way. I don't care. I'm going to grind this way. Like, that's how I am. I'm very stubborn, right? So I would much rather say, I'm just going to grind my way. I'm going to chill with my drink, and I'm going to play this level over and over for 2-3 nights straight, grinding away and getting levels, rather than actually, like you guys are saying, the dupe glitch. I would just sit there, grind like an idiot. That's how I am.
I like that he's using his own character flaws in defense of something that is also a character flaw. I think that really goes to show you all, like DSP doesn't have very many character perfections, positives. I don't know how you would call that. They're character flaws. What's the opposite? I'm not sure. But actively using your own flaws to deny your flaws is crazy.
You didn't do the nugget glitch in Fire Red. That's pretty much something I always do. I can't understand you learning to cheat. You barely learned to play. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Redeeming qualities. Again, thank you. That is the proper way to say it.
I don't even know. I don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, like who the fuck is Thomas the Bam? I don't know who the fuck that is. I haven't even played Demon Souls that much. What, 3 times? My original run, my second run, which I called the final run because they were turning off the PS3 servers for it, so you couldn't play it online anymore. And then there was the remake. I played it 3 times.
I don't even know why he would have played it during the server shutdown time. Like, what did he try and get out of that? That motherfucker doesn't play online. He doesn't want to be invaded. He shouldn't be co-oping because that's not the true and real authentic Souls experience or whatever the fuck. So, like, Why did he even, I mean, just to get more money, I guess, because it was relevant again? I don't know.
I don't even know anything about what you're talking
So
about.
stupid. Oh, there's a boss that's online only. Oh, yeah, the one that he fucking pulled the plug on back in the day during his original run because whoever was dunking on him was dunking on him too viciously.
Can anyone even explain fully how it's done? I will say this, back in the day, I always fessed up to this, is that what I used to do is if it was a brand new game, okay, when I picked up that game from GameStop, I would buy the strategy guide very frequently. And I would use the guide to basically enhance my playthrough so that I could find all the items, or I could find like the items I need, or to know how to beat a boss if I get stuck. I would have the strategy guide. This was very common back in the day, basically until I stopped physically picking up games. Okay, so that would have been when I moved here, actually.
Now, I know that he fessed up to watching guides or reading the strategy guides or whatever much later, but the way that he opened this up, it made it sound like he admitted to it at the time, and that's just not the case. I think that's framing the situation in a way that is just objectively not true. It was much, much later DSP finally had to admit, when people had him dead to rights 100 different fucking times to looking things up preemptively, did he ever actually acknowledge it?
I was physically picking up games weekly for a very long time, out of 2008 all the way through like 2014. But then when I moved out here, I stopped picking up the games from GameStop and got everything digitally. So I stopped basically getting the strategy guides.
Right. We just looked up
was like a
guides
cool
online.
Online, it's live stream.
Which he did before Demon's Souls 2. I mean, like, everybody knows the classic example, I think, where he was trying to throw the grenade into the window during his GTA 3 playthrough all those years ago. And, he came back after a cut or whatever. I was like, oh, I figured it out, guys. And he definitely had a fucking guide up. Yeah, like...
But a lot of the times back in the day, I would absolutely get the strategy guide and use that as part of my playthrough. If I got stuck or I didn't know what I was doing, I wouldn't necessarily just sit there and read the guide ahead of time, but I would absolutely use it during my run, but I wouldn't tell anyone. So you guys wouldn't know, oh, Phil's using the guide.
Yeah,
So
deceitful
like
from the
boss I'm
start.
stuck on, I'd take a break from filming, go read the guide, come back, and then beat the boss. That definitely happened, and I fessed up to that over the years, for sure. Okay, someone explaining it?
And it's small things like that don't really matter. No one really gives a shit if you look at guides or whatever when you do playthroughs. The fact that he didn't disclose it, though, and made it always seem as though this was his, first experience with the game. He just figured this out. He's this big brain gamer or whatever. The dishonesty, the deceit is what people get so upset about DSP about. All of the small shit that he lies about is really inconsequential at the end of the day. None of this ever matters, and it never did. But there's just no reason to be so deceitful all of the time for no benefit, really. Nobody was going to click off a DSP video once they found out that he was watching a guide. Like, it really never mattered. It was all about lying. So thank you, Snortle Combat, for the 2, saying marijuana, diet soda, and burnout revenge, PS2. Diet soda with your burnout revenge? Couldn't be me. I'm drinking that shit straight, no diet. Thank you for the 2, Snortle Combat.
Bank guy, then you go fall off a ledge nearby, you talk to him again, it dupes what item you put in the bank. Oh, no. I had no idea about that whatsoever. Zero. Really, zero. So, and here's the thing. I know it's not true, just like a million things have been said about me that aren't true. Okay? I know it's not true. So it doesn't matter what circumstantial nonsense some idiot put together in a video. It's still not true.
What? It doesn't matter what circumstantial nonsense they put in the video. It's still not true. Could you imagine going to court and they present a bunch of evidence that puts you in the place of the crime at the time with your fingerprints, and then you tell them, well, it doesn't matter what circumstantial nonsense you put together. It's still not true. That's this video. That's exactly what's happening here. They've put all of this evidence together with all of the math, all of the time stamps, with the amount of days in between, all of the numbers, the souls, the way that the game refreshes, all of this shit. They put it all together to come up with just mathematically, this whole system doesn't make sense this way. And DSP is actively denying that right now. You can't. It just doesn't make sense.
Have had a chance of being true. You may find some weird multi-dimensional possibility that it could have been true in a multiverse, but it's not.
Oh, okay. It's true in the multiverse. Got it. So I guess we live in the multiverse then. We live in the universe in which this is true, is what he's saying. Gotcha. A weird way to admit it, but okay.
Not true in this universe. So I don't care. Well, here's the thing. All right. If I had done it, I would tell you right now that I did.
No, he wouldn't. Absolutely would not do that. This is so fucking retarded.
Because
doesn't make
sense.
There's
no reason to not say I did, because there's no, like, what? Who cares? It's a playthrough from 13 years ago.
It's his ego.
I didn't present myself to the internet as the best Demon Souls player ever who legitimately played this game. I openly admitted to grinding every night to get artificial levels in the game.
And it still doesn't make sense. This is why he should have watched the fucking video, because that's not a defense that holds ground. There's no foundation underneath it, dude. It's insane.
So why would it matter if I do? It wouldn't. No one cares. It's not a big deal. So I would just tell you right now if I did it. There's no reason for me to not say to you, oh, I do, but I didn't do. It's just that the internet has such an autistically fixated fascination with me.
Not me.
And everything
I would
that
never
I
be
say and
autistic.
do for some bizarre, unexplicable reason. It's inexplicable, by the way. Inexplicable reason.
It's not inexplicable, though. You can't explain it. Well, people are obsessed with DSP. Obsessed is a very odd word to use. Some people are, but I wouldn't go that far. Some people are obsessed with DSP because he's a fucking liar. Because you can never follow the train of thought. It's interesting the way that his mind is this enigma, right?
That they actually hyper obsess on minutia and they turn it into things that are important to them, not to the common person. The common person would never care if a random streamer or gamer used a dupe glitch in a playthrough from 13 years ago. In fact, I will go as far to say no one with an actual functional life, with meaningful things to do, would care that DSP duped in a Demon Souls playthrough 13 years ago. No one. You'd actually have to have a waste of your life to care about it.
You'd have to have a waste of your life. Okay. Like his vernacular, his syntax is all fucked up. He's not even speaking correctly in a coherent way in order to get his point across because he's so flustered and frustrated.
I want you to think about that.
You're hyper-obsessed, autistic, idiot retards, all of you, because you could look at the videos I put up and see that it didn't add up that way. Oh, okay. Thank you, JB, for the 10. Or JB10 for the 5. Thank you. Saying, in the legal world, there's a concept called preponderance of evidence. DSP wants to think proof is limited to smoking gun style certainty. Well, yeah. The all of the evidence gathered separately might not make sense and put together a clear picture, but once it's all brought together and you can see all of the ways that it clicks together like a puzzle, you can just put together the image that DSP's story doesn't make sense.
Okay? Your life is meaningless.
Thank you for the 5. I appreciate it.
You have nothing going on for you. You got absolutely nothing better to do than to hyperfixate on a 13-year-old playthrough, and you think that this is meaningful to human existence. It's not.
And this is a weird thing that DSP loves to try and do all of the time that I think is also really annoying, to think that everything you do has to have some sort of add some sort of meaning to human existence or something fucking retarded like that. I just don't know. It seems like an ego thing. It seems like narcissism to think that everything that you do in your life has to somehow add to the human experience. If you think that every action you're taking is actively adding to the positive experience of human beings, you're a fucking self-obsessed retard, to be honest with you. I have no idea how you get up every day and think that you're making that big of a difference with all the dumb bullshit you do. And this goes for everybody, myself included. Don't think that highly of yourself. You're just, like DSP would say, you're just a retard.
Okay? It benefits no one to talk about it, to waste time on it. Okay? Zero time invested was worth it. Okay? Because even if I did dupe or I didn't dupe, It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect
Yet we're
me
dying
at
here,
all.
on this
it doesn't
hill
affect you
right
at all.
now.
It affects nothing. Why did you waste your time? But if I had duped right now, I would tell you outright, I duped, but I didn't. So I didn't do it. I'm not going to fess up to something I've never done. That's absolutely ridiculous. I would never do that.
So like you guys were saying in the chat earlier, the actual semantic truth could be that he never duped. Somebody else called KH Knight, I guess is who you guys are talking about, somebody who co-opted with him during Demon's Souls, could have done the dupe for him, handed over the souls, and therefore he could vehemently deny ever duping himself because that's not semantically truthful. That's playing nonsense bullshit that that, like I said, nonsense bullshit word games like DSP does. It's really not even worth getting into. I would define that as minutia, but rules for thee, I suppose.
Maybe they don't think it's a waste of time. Well, see, that's the thing. It doesn't matter what they think, because if your mind is that crack to hyperfixate on something that is meaningless, it probably means you lack rational thought. You wouldn't be able to judge for yourself what's a good use of your time and what's not. It's always, like I said, time is our most valuable asset. Time absolutely is the most important thing that we have in life. Don't waste it, okay? But these people are intent on wasting their lives. They're intent on wasting their lives on crap. I don't know why. It doesn't benefit them or me or you or anyone. It's just wasting your time. And then you're going to be 60, 70 years old, decrepit, falling apart, sitting around saying, where did my life go? Oh.
See, but he's already lost all of those intricacies that he expects you to have for him, where you have to understand that his content is providing joy and meaning to the 100 people that unironically show up and give him money. You're supposed to understand that about his content and all of the little shit that he does. But the idea that you could put together a video, right, gather all of the evidence, flex your brain muscles and doing all of the math, and then garner the skills to put together the video in a comprehensive way that is both entertaining and informative. All of that is a skill set that you're actively using and you could argue makes you better, at least in a skill set sense. But all of that minutia, all of that is complete and utter pointlessness to DSP, because you would never ever gain anything from making a video about him. You would never gain a skill set. You would never work on your ability to entertain or your charisma. Of course not.
Oh yeah,
those aren't important to
DSP. I was
DSP.
watching that fucking 2-hour video about DSP duping in Demon's Souls. Shit. Oh my goodness. Oh man, people are something else.
They're so stupid.
This is exactly the same as the hand cart. This is exactly the same as it comes in denim. Okay? Okay, let's actually talk about the it comes in denim thing, right?
Before we get to that, I do have a second DSP dupe theory. If you don't believe that he was doing the semantics of somebody giving him duped souls and yada, 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 I do genuinely believe that this is within the purview of DSP. These are actions that he would take, and it would be totally in line with him. That he would be drinking, and he would be watching nonsense bullshit and duping souls. And because it was so long ago, and because he's lied about it for so long, he has genuinely pignatized himself to forget those memories so that he could deny them with full certainty and believe that even he was telling the truth. Because it was so long ago, and because he was cheating so frequently in all of these games, reading guides and cheesing the game, that it wasn't really memorable for him. And again, he just denied it for years and years to the point where he bought into his own bullshit. Yes, he does that a lot. That is, like I said, genuinely within his purview and 100% within the realm of DSP lore. So I genuinely think that it's one or the other. Either it was given to him and he's denying it on semantics, or he genuinely doesn't remember because his brain has been rotting in gin for the past 20 fucking years straight.
So the banana song, which I didn't even know was a thing until you guys started bringing it up in chat over the years, and I still for a very long time had no idea what you were talking about. When I finally took the time to watch it back, I was like, this is it? This is what these people, thousands of people, have hyper-fixated on autistically for years and years and years. This is it, this stupid little thing. That's a nothing throwaway moment from a playthrough where I was just like out of my mind because I was so stressed out at the game. It sucked so bad, right?
Also, incredibly cringe to be a grown man out of your mind and stressed out about a fucking N64 game playthrough. Incredibly stupid. Just complete low tier human, if you ask me.
And I literally was just jumbling my words together. And so the first time I watch it back for real, I didn't say it comes in denim. I said in comes the nana. It's me like marble mouthing it because I'm just trying to make it up on the fly. And immediately people start freaking out. No, it's in comes in denim. It comes in denim. No, it's not. I said in comes the nana because I probably want to say in goes the banana. But
I probably wanted to say this, you know, this fucking playthrough that was like 10 years ago that I barely remember because I was so brain cracked. I probably wanted to say this. He can't just let people have their fucking fun, can he? The one enjoyable thing from his playthrough, he can't let people enjoy because they're not enjoying it in a way that he approves of. It's so heavy-handed and iron-fisted.
I realized that's too many syllables. So I have to shorten it. So on the fly, I marble mouthed it. I said, in comes the nana. And wait, but he said it comes in denim. No, I didn't. You're just an idiot.
He
objectively
and you
made it so important to you and your community of obsessed weirdos on the internet that I said that.
Once again, that's y'all, not me.
You can't accept the fact that the person who literally said it is telling you what they really said. You can't deal with reality. So let's really now get to the root of the issue. You people out there who obsess on this shit.
What do you mean by you people, DSP?
Can't fucking deal with reality. That's your problem. You live in a weird online, always fantasy world where you think that you have thousands of people who love and accept you for your weird obsessive behavior.
But that's just an objective truth. You cannot deny that these videos about DSP, whether they be from, you know, your regular detractors who do regular content about DSP or to your one-offs, they get thousands and thousands of views. Even pretty close to 1 million sometimes, depending on who's doing the content. It is objectively true that that thousands and thousands of people appreciate and love the content that you make on DSP. It just is. There is no denying this unless you're willing to deny reality, which he is. But I don't think that that's a good thing. I don't think that he should be celebrating and gloating about that. That's absurd. Thank you to Pasta Maker for the 5, saying he loves the idea that people would hyper-focus on the banana song. It makes him feel important, feeds the narcissism that feeds the dupe denial. I have to agree. That's why he can't get away from it. Him denying this narrative does give him some sort of, I think it gives him some sort of authority, or at least he thinks so, on his content, as well as, yeah, makes him feel important, that people would even care enough.
It's fallacy. It's fantasy. You're cracked. Your head is broken. You need to go get examined. You need counseling, and you need help. You need to get real friends, real family members who care about you. Stop living online, eternally fixating on minutia and nonsense. This is not what human existence was meant to be. Remember back when we were all fucking cavemen?
Do you guys remember back when we were cavemen? Do you guys have real memories that you can recall in your own personal mind about when we were cavemen? You know, me and you and him. Now, I personally fucking don't, because I've never been a caveman in my life. But if you told me DSP was, I'd believe you. I'd have to. He's the immortal caveman, the Neanderthal that never died.
We had to actually struggle to survive, and we had to knock 2 rocks together to start a fire to actually fucking have a cooking meal for the day, and we had to go hunt and gather to survive. That was fucking living. Today, everything's so fucking...
Oh, you know what? ALT, that bit was meant for ALT. You're probably right. He's calling out the old man. The old man remembers smashing rocks together to light fires. It's true.
Easy. You have nothing to worry about in your life. You get food delivered to you. You get protection. You get water in your house, right? Everything is easy for you. So what do you do with your life?
What does that mean?
You sit on the fucking internet hyperfixating on the most pointless nonsense possible.
Also, I don't get food. This is massive projection. DSP's the one that gets fucking food delivered to his house. DSP's the one that gets protection in his gated community. I also have running water in my house, so I can't give that exclusively to him. But like, this is just projection. This is what he's doing. He's in these circumstances, so he spends all of his time online and thinks that this is the only place that he can be.
And you think that's human life. Newsflash, it ain't.
This is what his father tells him? Yeah, in his weekly phone calls, he's going apeshit like this.
Holy shit. These people need a serious wake-up call.
Wake-up
They're
call?
just fucked in the head. It doesn't come in denim, all right? I don't have a hand cart, and I didn't dupe in Demon Souls. That's reality. And if you can accept that, congratulations, welcome back to reality with the rest of humanity. By the way, I'm not poor. I'm not unhappy. My wife isn't fat. She didn't leave me. I'm eating healthy. I do work out and have muscles now.
What an odd thing to throw into the fucking fray. Am I right, folks? My wife isn't fat. She doesn't have diabetes. She didn't lose her toes. Okay. I don't ride her around town on her back like a horse. I don't do these things. Okay. And like the idea of she's not fat, like we're not going to be using DSP's arbitrary subjective ass fucking, definition of fat. All right. Just nonsense.
Oh, okay. Should we continue with reality? How much more do you need to cope and try to rationalize out that's true and say it's not true? Shall we continue? I mean, I could do it all day, but you're going to be crying in bed.
I'm crying. I'm seething. I'm coping.
Holy shit. You guys are something else. Anyway, I think that's enough of this nonsense from these idiots. But you see, this is what happens when I entertain the nonsense, right? Like,
now, I don't really remember how we got started on this. I don't remember if somebody had sent in a super chat or a tip asking about the Demon Souls nonsense or whatever. But if they didn't, I'm a firm believer this is the type of thing you can get for free. This is what we were saying at the beginning of the stream. Do not give DSP money, because if you were to ask about this subject matter for long enough in the chat, consistently enough, you will get this for free. Do not spend your money. Thank you, Cantu Adrian, for the 2, saying him trying to stuff things in while pignatizing. I agree. My wife isn't fat. I'm happy. And you're an idiot.
The stuff that they come up with, they're wildly insane. Because you can't cope with the fact that my life is good. I toughed through a whole lot of shit to get to where I am, and things are great for me. But you can't accept that fact. You can't. You just, he did it his way. He's happy doing things his way. And, I can't believe that he's having a good life and everything. No, it's true.
But, okay. But this is automatically deniable, because most people would tell you that sitting in a room for an extended period of the day, talking to yourself all day long, playing games that you don't enjoy, with no air circulation, is not a good life. It's not a life most people want to live. Therefore, they can say that you live a life that they would not want to live and wouldn't be very good.
It's true. Everything is good, and you are fucked.
Everything is good.
Fixate on this shit. I don't understand this internet culture of if there's something you don't like or you don't agree with or you're not happy with, that you just fixate on it and you can't get enough of it. That's bizarre to me.
Yeah, that's
okay,
so
there's
strange.
A lot of things.
When people wanted their governments to change, when they wanted more freedoms in their life or the ability to do X, Y, and Z, they should have just stayed home instead of concerning themselves with things that they don't like. You know what I'm saying? That would be so stupid to try and, I don't know, change or take part in changing something that you dislike. That would be so weird.
In life that I don't like. Okay, true. There's a lot of things in this life I don't like. What I don't do is follow it, watch it, stalk it, talk about it all day, and fixate on it. What I try to do is avoid the things that I don't like. Avoid the things that I don't find pleasure in, I don't find entertainment in or value in, because I feel like spending my time on things I do like is more important than wasting time on things I don't. But maybe that's a different philosophy for most people these days, because it seems like we have a generation of people who grew up online fixating on things they don't like.
Seven asking, doesn't he watch detractor videos on Wings and LTG? Yes, he does. We must enjoy it. He must enjoy the suffering and belittlement of these other content creators in a deep and sadistic way in order to enjoy these content creators. But he must, or he wouldn't spend time watching them. Am I right?
Rather than finding things they do. That's really fucking bizarre to me. It is. That's actually a good question. Here's an interesting question for everyone. All right. Do you find more pleasure in enjoying something that you like, or in reveling in the downfall of something you don't?
Both. I like doing them at the same time.
What do you find more pleasure in? Seriously, that's an actual interesting question.
I love to see my enemies fall and my allies gain strength, and I love to see them at the same time, and I even love them more if they're related. Does that work? Is that an acceptable answer?
Because I legit think that how you answer that question says a lot about you and your rationale in your life and how you've grown up and what generation you're from. Because quite frankly, if you say, I really like to enjoy things that I find, positivity and entertainment in, I'd be like, I'm just like you. I'm down for that. I try to surround myself with things that I like. I think that's a good thing. All right. If your answer is you revel in the downfall of things that you don't like and you get more pleasure out of that, that's fucking scary.
Okay.
You understand? That's really disturbing. That's not how human existence is supposed to be. And if that's the case, I think that the online existence of humanity has created a culture shift that is absolutely just disturbing. Because you're going to have people who don't understand morality, who don't understand right and wrong, who think it's okay to do these horrible things to people who they just don't like.
Okay, but if you genuinely find a moral issue with DSP or anything else really, and that is the reason that you're preying on their downfall, why you want to see them suffer, I believe, and this is DSP's own words here, he was raised Roman Catholic. Did they not say make no peace with evil? If you genuinely are justifying DSP's actions as evil, they are morally incorrect, he takes advantage of people, he is doing wrong, are you not allowed to, I don't know, get some sort of enjoyment on the fall of evil? I mean, it might, I'm kind of blowing it out of proportion. It's not that deep. But is this not the teachings that DSP claims that he was a part of? That would, I think, be contrary to that, if you ask me.
You're not going to like everyone. There's tons of people I don't like. It doesn't mean that I try to fuck with them and say horrible things about them and mess with their lives. And, never. I wouldn't do that. I ignore it. Right now, all right, there's people out there actively trying to hurt me and my family, and I ignore them. I just don't have time for them. I have many more positive things to do in my life than waste time on those kind of people,
Except when he's doing it.
The only time we bring it up is when
right
you
now.
bring it up. And you guys do all the time. You bring that shit up and like, oh, now he's crashing out because he's talking about his detractors. No, you brought them up, not me. I don't give a shit about
Not me.
them. I pay no attention. I don't even know who half of them are.
I have no idea, you guys, like I said, except for all of the times in which he addresses the drama and knows what everybody is saying and all of the details so that he can try his best to accurately deny them, even though he always fails.
Are we down here another reference to one of them? Like, I don't even know who that is. It wasn't until recently that someone said, did you know there's a whole podcast about you? No.
Oh,
I don't care.
Shout
I
out
don't know
that being
about
said,
it.
of
How
course.
many years has it run? Oh, like 5 years. 5 years? No, I didn't know about that. I don't care. It's kind of unbelievable that it's true. Like, what the fuck? The 5 years these people wasted their time? Jeez. So anyway, yeah, I don't care about this shit. I stay away from it. I do. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't. But maybe, again, people are wired different. I'm from a much different generation.
They're wired different. They're wired gay. He's wired straight. Ignore the Hawaiian shirt, please.
I am. I grew up in the 1980s and 90s before the internet existed. I'm wired a different way than probably a lot of the people in my audience. But I just don't get hyperfixating on nonsense. I just don't. I don't understand it.
But he's the one that's watching Wings clips. He's the one that's watching LTG detractors. As somebody who watches lolcows, I genuinely think that LTG clips and Wings clips are far more numerous and far less interesting. Now, I might have a bias. Not everybody is going to agree, but I think that's indefensible. That's not an excuse from DSP.
Video about Demon Souls literally wasted all of their time and wasted all of your time watching it, and it's all fake because I didn't dupe in Demon Souls. I don't even know how to do it. To this day, I still don't understand what you're talking about. It didn't happen. It doesn't matter how you can fabricate a scenario in another multiversal dimension where it happened. It didn't happen in this one. So it doesn't matter.
Now, you fabricated all of the evidence that you pulled from the game mechanics and the actual videos DSP uploaded. You fabricated those. I am not quite sure how, but you did.
No matter what's said in the video, you've all wasted your time. I never said it comes in denim. I said in comes the nana. You can deal with reality or you can live in your fantasy world, but I never said it comes in denim. Go watch the fucking video. Been proven you can't reach that level in a week by grinding. Why do you keep lying? I'm not. It doesn't matter. There's no proof. I'm telling you.
He didn't watch the fucking video. You can't. I'm sorry for yelling. I'm so sorry for yelling because it was out of nowhere. Audio users, I'm so sorry. But he didn't watch the fucking video, dude. He didn't. You can't say that. You actually cannot fucking say that unless you're going to bust out the math and you're going to do it all live in front of everybody, or you have a pre-made video, right, where he's already done all of the math that is going to objectively show us that this is possible. This is the way that he did it. Unless he's about to do that, this guy needs to just shut the fuck up. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's nonsense. He's just denying. He's just denying to deny. That's his proof because he said so.
Reality. I know reality because I was there. You weren't. Again,
yeah, audio exclusive users, the non-visual styles.
You said, why
That's
do you keep lying?
Everyone's an audio user.
That's the point I'm making. The point I'm making is I wouldn't lie.
Is there somebody out there that's watching only visually with subtitles on? I don't imagine that's a very effective way to watch me nor DSP. There's a lot of fake words in there. I don't think they're going to pick up on.
There's no point to lying. It doesn't serve a purpose. I don't need to lie. If it happened, I would have told you because there's no negative thing about me doing it. No one cares.
It's his ego. He denies things that are true all of the time purely because of his ego. And that's the only reason he's ever needed. This is why, undeniably, you can always claim that DSP is lying about something because there is always an excuse as to why he would lie, because it makes him feel better. It bruises his ego less. He's narcissistic. That's the end all be all of it. That's why you can't trust anything he says.
If I duped, I would have said that's not cheating because it's a single player game and I was a guy doing a playthrough and I wanted to be able to beat the game in a rational amount of time, right? I wasn't trying to say that I was the best Demon Souls player or whatever. I wasn't speed running the game. It didn't matter if I duped or not. But if I had done it, I would have told you I did.
Atlas hates the deaf. That's not true.
See, Cabbage Boy May did a $2 super chat. Says you lie about everything. That's why you have
blind,
no friends.
though.
First of all, I do have friends. That's number one. Second of all,
I do have friends, actually. Has never talked about them, has never claimed to ever have done anything with them in real life or online, and has no proof that they exist. But I do have friends.
I don't lie about everything. Do I lie about things? Yeah, just like everyone. Especially being an online content creator, you have to be careful about the things that you...
Oh, so now we're just admitting that we lie. Okay, so I didn't lie about this, but I did lie about that. Now, how am I supposed to expect him to not lie about other things in the future? Because he's lied about tons of things in the past and admitted to it. What are we doing here, Bappa? What are we doing? Thank you, one testicle man, for the 12 months, saying that video was peak autism. Loved it. I agree. As soon as I started it, and I made it like 15 minutes in, I was like, oh, this guy is autistic. That's cool. That's fine. Somebody's got to be willing to do the math, and it ain't going to be me.
Say and do.
It is a good video. You guys should go watch it if you haven't.
I used to actually selectively keep things secret or lie about things to protect my private information or my family, and I just blabbed everything on the internet. It came back to bite me. People were systematically using that information to harass me, to harass my business, my family members, everything.
I guess I could go get
As an online creator, you have to have
That'd
this
probably be
level of protection where you keep certain facts and things of reality separate from what you share with the internet. And you have to have that line of separation. Duping in Demon Souls is not one of those things. I could easily tell you right now if I had duped in Demon Souls and it wouldn't affect anything. Okay, it's not a big deal. No, Mo4, that's not the case. He says, oh, Markiplier and Maximilian Dude have no detractor communities because of being consistently genuine. That's not true. That's not why they don't have detractor communities. I'm a unique case. All right.
Wait, I'm sorry. I missed that. I was reading.
It's not one of those things. I could easily tell you right now if I had duped in Demon Souls and it wouldn't affect anything. Okay, it's not a big deal.
Except it would hurt his ego.
No, Mo4, that's not the case. He says, oh, Markiplier and Maximilian Dude have no detractor communities because of being consistently genuine. That's not true. That's not why they don't have detractor communities. I'm a unique case. All right?
I'm unique. I'm a special snowflake.
You just referenced.
I'm going to tell you right now, this excuse that he's about to pull out, this tale he's about to weave, I fucking hate. I think this is so stupid. I think that this is the creme de la creme of shirking off all accountability and responsibility for one's actions. I think that this is embarrassing for an adult grown man. I think that this is a deep character flaw that honestly might not ever be able to be righted. And if this was me, I would have fucking jumped if I thought this way. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that this is a way worth living. But because it's DSP, he does.
I came before 99% of people who are creators on the internet. All right? There's very few people who are prominent today who came before me. I am the predecessor. I am the one who made the impromptu commentary Let's Play popular on YouTube. I am. It's the definitive evidence is there. You can see that no one was blowing up on YouTube for doing it until me. Everyone else was known as the person who would do like this very specific style of content. One person would just play Call of Duty and do these commentary videos on Call of Duty or whatever, right? Me, I was the one who blew up this kind of commentary, just improvisation style, observational style, saying silly things to try to entertain an audience while I played a video game, all right? Because I was the first, there was no track record of anyone ever doing it, and I didn't really know how things would go. I never took it seriously. So early on in my career, which I didn't call it back then because I never knew that I would do this for a job, nor did I ever imagine I'd make $1 doing it, I said and did things that were very irreverent, that were purposefully meant to get attention for myself. Sexual comments, racial comments, things that were over the top and inappropriate because I had a teen audience. I did it on purpose to get that.
Very odd to say that you do sexual content for a teen audience. This is a narrative I would have dropped a long time ago if I was DSP. This is just not words that I would want to be formulating live in front of people as an excuse for any sort of behavior. I think that's a crazy thing to say. Like, in context and out of context, if I'm being honest with you.
Attention every day.
But yeah, this nobody came before me. I was the originator, therefore I couldn't behave in a reasonable, respectable way because nobody else before me in this space did, because nobody else existed is fucking retarded. Okay? You should be able to conduct yourself in a manner that is respectable, presentable, likable, entertaining. Like, all of these prerequisites should have been able to have been met without acting like a complete and utter nonsense fool. But because nobody did it before him, he thinks that he instantly is off scot-free, that he was allowed to do anything he wanted, whenever he wanted, and be as irreverent as he wanted, simply because he believes that he was the first. And that's not even true. There was tons of other Let's Players around the time that DSP started, after DSP started. There were some before DSP started. Again, it's just shirking all responsibility as much as humanly possible. And thank you to Snortle Combat for another 2, saying those aren't peanuts, they're worms for compost. Thank you for the 2. I appreciate it, brother man.
Watch my video. Okay? After doing this for many years.
Yeah, imagine George Washington saying that. Yeah, exactly. Nobody came before me as president of the United States, so of course I had all of these people hung and quartered ruthlessly throughout the streets. Of course I treated them all horribly. Come on, guys. Nobody did it before me, so I was allowed to do anything.
And getting tons of attention on myself and kind of blowing up for doing it. Basically, things started to fall apart because people were pissed at me for some of the things that I had said and did. Saying that, why was I so extreme to this way or that way, right? Like, I'm pretty sure if you go back and you see Markiplier or Maximilian, they probably didn't say anywhere on the level of the racial comedy, the sexualized comments, and the things that I said back in the day.
Right, and they probably didn't do that because that's not who they are or what they find funny or how they wanted to present themselves. That was probably a personal decision that they made in regards to how they wanted to present themselves as a person online. That's fine. That's the decision that DSP should have made if he was worried about it. But he clearly wasn't, because he had no standards.
Never did that stuff. Not at all. Right? No. So, number one, I was already inadvertently setting the groundwork for a detractor community to have grounds to try to come after me. Okay? And then on top of doing all of that, okay, there was, whoa, careful. There was a situation where this is how you don't play started, right? People started making fun of me. And instead of embracing it and laughing at it and making jokes about it and being a part of it, I got very angry about it. I basically had the worst possible reaction. Oh, these people don't have the right to make fun of me. Who are they? I'm holier than thou. My shit doesn't stink. Worst possible reaction that I could have had to that. Okay.
Right.
So now,
which I think only goes further to cement the idea that what DSP's doing right now is an excuse that doesn't really work. Because he followed up his irreverent behavior, his, if you want to call it racist or fucking insensitive, whatever you want to call it, because he did those things and then immediately followed it up with my shit doesn't stink, who are they, I'm the guy on top, I'm the one making money, he essentially doubled down on his shitty behavior, further cementing that he is actually just a shitty person and is incapable of being likable. That's his fault. How are we going to be upset about anybody else being, like, hating him? That doesn't make sense.
Not only did I do things in a way that were very immature and irreverent and inappropriate for long-term success, but then I got angry when people started criticizing me for said stuff. You know, he actually isn't a good gamer. Why is he successful? Well, fuck you. My video.
Isn't that what he's doing with the dupe allegations? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. Nobody came before me. People are calling me out, and my shit doesn't stink. Who the fuck are you? Yeah, that's basically what he's doing. You're not wrong.
Right? That was my response. How
He's
dare
the
you
guy
make this
who
video about me?
arbiters
You
the
didn't ask me
truth.
permission. You know, you don't have the right to do this. I should have reacted in a completely different way. You know, I should have. That's on me. It is. So today, I've completely changed who I am. I don't do that kind of commentary or content anymore. Everyone knows this, right? I accept valid criticism, right? Not this nonsense about. Oh,
I accept valid criticism. Who's in charge of what is and isn't valid? DSP and his ego. Oh, okay, great. Well, what a great standard. What a great line to have to strive to the arbitrary fucking distinctions that DSP would make on what is and isn't valid criticism.
13 years ago
Insanity.
You did this. No, I didn't. You're a fucking idiot. You know. But valid criticism, I will accept, and all the time I listen and I try to improve, depending on what you guys say. You know. But that's what it is. Why did Maximilian and Markiplier not have big detractor communities? Because they're not me. They were in a situation where coming into content.
Also, tons of people do hate Maximilian and Markiplier. DSP is a Markiplier hater, for the record. I know that he doesn't hold so fast to that now because he's, not nearly as prominent on YouTube, and he's got that big movie or whatever that DSP was trying to watch and review or whatever the fuck so that he could be in on the new hotness, the new trending. But DSP for years talked shit about people like Markiplier and even Markiplier specifically because they were just too prominent. They were too prevalent on the platform. He felt like they were stealing away his views for a lesser form of content. He is that. So I don't know why we're pretending now that Markiplier doesn't have haters when he was literally a part of that group. Tons of people hated PewDiePie for the same reason, DSP included. This is just pretending as though the past didn't happen, which is insane.
Creation.
Iron Lung is the movie. Thank you for calling it out. I forgot the name. I'd never seen it.
They had a track record of people doing it before them. They saw some of the mistakes you can make. They had people to learn from. They made different kinds of content.
Who hates Max? There are people that hate Max. I don't know that. I don't know them specifically, but like every content creator has haters inevitably because they are doing well. They make content. Inevitably, they're going to say an opinion or have a take that doesn't mesh well, and people are going to hate them for it. It's going to happen inevitably. And Max is too big for that to not be the case.
Over the top, crazy shit. You get in trouble for that. So instead, I'll go this way or I'll go that way. Right? Maximilian was known for doing very high quality skits around the assists in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, comedy skits based around it. He blew up because of those, and he got a good following and a good groundwork where now he could do whatever he wanted, and he did, and he's successful doing that, right? Markiplier jumped in at the right time to capitalize on the horror games craze on PC. So he just basically played the horror games, screamed at them and stuff like that, got his footing in there, and then he continued to grow and be successful from there. You notice they didn't do anything like I did. We're all unique people.
Notice they didn't do anything like I did. They were successful on their own. I don't know that's like is that supposed to be a defensive DSP? Is that supposed to like make all of his issues smaller? I'm not quite sure what the point of all that was, to be honest. Maybe
Sadly,
I'm lost in the sauce.
Into a situation that I couldn't get out of, and what do? I'm not going to give up and quit. I'm going to improve, which I have. Now things are much different, right? But people still hold on like it's 2012 and act like that's the same me. It's not at all. 2012 Phil is not 2026 Phil. You'd like it to be.
I'm a different guy.
It's just not the case.
Not the same guy I was yesterday.
Okay? Everything on the internet needs to be taken with a grain of salt. Everything. Because you're right. Everyone has an angle. Everyone has a spin. Do you really think that someone would make a 2-hour video about my playthrough of Demon Souls only in the hopes to come to the conclusion that they could prove I didn't do the dupe glitch? Of course not.
Well, no, because they would have already have had their findings before actually putting the video together. Like, you don't start a video like that if you haven't already come to the conclusion through the mathematics, through the evidence, through the clips that you've gathered. That doesn't make sense. The video can only be made if the conclusion exists. So this is nonsense as well. Just fucking retarded drivel with a V, I think. Thank you to the Grippa for the 5. saying, good thing I have Phil to learn from. I almost said a slur. Markiplier, apparently. Yeah, well, that's what he acts like, right? He acts as though because he went out of his way to be flagrant and irreverent, or however you want to call it, say slurs, if you want to simplify it, because he did it. All of the other content creators after, of course, must have seen DSP, and they must have learned from his downfall or his pitfalls, or whatever you want to call it. You know, it's just nonsense, dude. Nobody was out there living like that. I think most people don't even know who DSP was or is, and they still don't. And they should keep it that way.
The video was made.
If you're here right now watching DSP, I'm sorry you were ever exposed to this. Genuinely, it's a shame, but now you can't get away.
Was to say
you can't escape the mega busting.
That's it. That's the only reason. So what do you think the conclusion of the video is going to be? Oops, I wasted my time making this video because we found the opposite? Of course not. And that's what I mean. People who do this kind of content, they have an agenda. They're not doing it for fun. They're not doing it because it's a hobby. They're doing it because they're hoping to get views and make money. Period.
Is that guy even monetized? Or like, who is? I don't know who this person is. That guy has 2 videos. Like, hang on. Can I pull this up? I think I can without fucking myself over. The real concern, I suppose. Give me 1 second. So you guys get, just so you guys can see, this is the guy's channel. You think this guy made almost a 2-hour video on DSP to make money and be monetized? I don't think that that's the case. I don't think he would have met the prerequisites. So this is also nonsense. This also doesn't make any sort of sense. This guy's just an idiot, man. Also, I think I just fucked everything up. That's so funny. All right.
So that's why this content is created. When I watch detractor content about people like, let's say, Wings of Redemption, I know for a fact that that person making that video is spinning what was said or done or happened on that stream in a way to emphasize moments of the stream to push a narrative about Wings. Okay?
Right.
Now, in general, watching detractor content about someone can give you an idea of the negative things people say about them and why people either like to make fun of them or the problems they have with them. But you don't just blanket believe that it's all true, because that would make you ignorant. What you need to do is judge for yourself. All right? Like,
but DSP himself has said that that's how he keeps up with LTG and Wings. He doesn't watch the raw content, so he doesn't get a good overall view of what their content is genuinely like, nor the character that makes up these individuals as real people. So he therefore should never have made the April 1st stream on them or any of the other streams that he did before that, because he doesn't have the full picture, he's not painting it accurately, and he's misrepresenting the streams. This is exactly what DSP is guilty of if this is the way that he genuinely believes all of this plays out.
Listen, I certainly think that Wings of Redemption is a flawed person, but I don't think he's a bad person. Does that make sense? I think that he has some things in his life that he can improve. He has mistakes that he repeatedly makes. I understand why there are people on the internet who don't like him, but I don't think he's a horrible person. I don't think he deserves his life to be ruined, his livelihood to be taken away. But I do think he has to work harder for himself to earn what he makes. But that doesn't make him a bad person. And I don't dislike Jordy at all. Honestly, I don't. Even with some of the things he says and does about me on his streams, I don't dislike the guy. Some people do. They outright just hate watch his detractor content, and they hate the fucking guy. They hate his guts. I don't. But that's because I'm in a unique situation where the same kind of content is made about me, and I know what's true about me and what's not. And I know I'm a flawed person who has shortcomings and problems, but I'm also not the devil that people make me out to be. I see from that middle perspective. And so I can understand how that applies to other people as well. You know? A lot of people can't do that.
So because DSP gets made fun of and bullied and belittled online, therefore he's inclined to be softer on other individuals that are bullied and ridiculed online. He's just obligated in that capacity, simply because they are 2 peas in a pod in that way. I fucking guess, brother, if that's the way that you want to call it, sure. I wouldn't admit to that. I would not admit to giving a pass or going lighter on negative style individuals simply because we're similar in a weird arbitrary way like that. I don't think that I would do that. I would probably hold them to a similar standard as everybody else, but sure, that's fine.
Because most of you out there who are watching this right now don't have hater content made on you.
Yeah, exactly, because he wants to be treated with kid gloves too. That's exactly what I'm getting out of this. Because he also gets bullied, he cannot think negatively of these other 2 individuals because they get bullied like him.
You wouldn't even know what that's like. I don't wish it upon a single one of you that ever in your life you have people dumping on you like they dump on people like us on the internet, because it's not pretty. You know, you have to have insanely thick skin to just push forward and get through it. You do. And luckily for me, I'm in a position in my life where this shit doesn't affect me anymore. It doesn't. It just
doesn't affect him. He's just been sat here talking about it for 30 minutes. 37 minutes we've been sat here talking about this nonsense.
But some people just can't handle it, and not everyone's
an hour
made the
20
same
if you're
way.
here with me, of course.
You know, some people just can't take that level of scrutiny, that level of online harassment. And, you know, seriously, I mean it. You know, I wouldn't wish it upon anyone out there to get that level of crap dumped on them on a daily basis. For nothing. For what? It's gotten so boring. These people have gotten so boring. Let's go back 13 years and find something to complain about that Phil did. Huh? You had to go back 13 years and make a 2-hour video about something that actually isn't true? Now you're really at the bottom of the barrel.
See, and I think this just goes to prove that DSP isn't actually interested in admitting to any of his faults or righting any of his wrongs or anything. The mere idea that somebody would go back and watch his old content and scrutinize it to any capacity is enough for DSP to write you off as some self-obsessed weirdo who's down on his luck looking to make fucking cheap bucks off of his hard at work or whatever. That's how he's painting the narrative, simply because you decided to go back and see some inconsistencies in a playthrough that potentially this individual could have enjoyed. Now, if you watch the video, you would understand he's not a DSP fan, but anybody could have made this video. You don't have to be a DSP hater to see inconsistencies in a narrative and say, well, that just can't be true. I don't think that it would work out that way, and then investigate it. You don't have to hate someone in order to do that. As a matter of fact, I would think there would be individuals that like DSP that would try and do things like, well, maybe not DSP because he doesn't have fans, but other content creators would go out of their way to do things like this for content creators that they enjoy, just to double check on things, to be honest. Now, that is a little over the top, a little obsessed, a little minutia focused, as DSP would call it, but
really, you're getting pretty desperate.
Okay. So that's how he decided to open the month, or the week. And that's when I knew. I was like, yay, I get to stream this weekend. He's finally said something of interest. He's finally popped off in a way for the people. Thank you, NWO News, for the 2. Saying, I Minecrafted that girl 13 years ago, you dunce. Well, and therefore you can't go back and look at it. So that's the way that the guy's world works. The next clip I'm going to show you is the daily wrap from, I think it was Tuesday, something like that.
Good evening, everyone. ESP here. Welcome to the daily wrap for what was Tuesday, the 4th.
Tuesday. This is him complaining about some of the games that he's been playing, which is Crimson Desert and RimWorld, 2 games I'm familiar with, and that I enjoy regularly. So I wanted to hear his complaints. I wanted to talk to you about his shortcomings, and point and laugh, of course, because none of it is going well, I guess. I think you Sneed Feed for the 2, saying he's lucky it's not the IRS looking 10 years ago. This is true. He should be counting his blessings that it's some weird autistic Scandinavian and not the IRS. This is factual. He should absolutely count his blessings.
14th of April, 2026. Let's talk all about it, because we had some high highs and low lows, and maybe perhaps we're starting to see some things change. I'm not sure. Let's talk all about it, okay?
Still can't ever let me go.
So, today, we had an interesting mix because, unlike previously, we did not have exactly the same lineup of games today as I had kind of scheduled the last few weeks, because we're no longer playing Street Fighter 6. So normally this would have been Action Day.
I was dancing, by the way. I didn't get to say it on stream, but we announced that we were no longer playing Street Fighter. It was off the table, and I was dancing on the grave of Street Fighter 6. I'm tired of it. I hate it. I feel like I have to say this multiple times a year because we keep coming back to it. But I'm so excited to never, for now, see Street Fighter again.
With Crimson Desert on the first stream and Street Fighter 6 on the late stream. However, later this week, we have 2 new releases. Because of that, some of the games that have been daytime streams in the past, notably Pokemon Fire Red and Crimson Desert, are actually going to be late night streams. So today we mixed it up. Today it was Crimson Desert on the first stream, and it was a late night stream of a RimWorld. Okay? So let's talk about that. We started off today with the DSP morning show, and that morning show was entertaining. We actually talked about how Naughty Dog, apparently in a leaked piece of information,
Right.
It has now been discovered that they're making The Last of Us 3 as well as Uncharted 5.
Now, if any of you could confirm or deny these rumors, the only person I've seen report on this, if you're willing to call it that, is DSP. I did not see any other games journalism sites coming out with these articles. I didn't see anybody talking about it on my Twitter feed. I didn't see it anywhere, any spaces I hang out, other than DSP. I genuinely believe, as of right now, that this is nonsense, that isn't real, and DSP simply used it as an excuse to talk about Neil Druckmann for the 9,000th fucking time. Please tell me this is not the case, so I have a better opinion of DSP. I desperately want to like the guy, he just makes it so difficult. Thank you, Some Gator, for the 5. Saying DSP brings up cavemen. Societally big / small, we survived by calling people out on bullshit and casting out. I agree. No, DSP word salad will talk his way out of that. I don't think so. I think the cavemen would have put him down, to be honest.
And I talked all
Thank you for
about
the
that.
5.
I talked about
Some
Neil
Gator.
Druckmann. We got into a discussion about politics in gaming, culture wars in gaming, and it went on for a while. I feel like it was a pretty good discussion. Of course, some people just try to run away from any discussion about politics or culture these days. But I thought it was a good morning show. As a result, we had some good discussion around it, okay?
Yeah, DSP was yelling about games being woke and Neil Druckmann ruining The Last of Us show with that disabled lady. Isn't that such a cool, fun topic? Don't you guys want to have that one for the 9,000th time?
Jumped into Crimson Desert. And once again, Crimson Desert being a mishmash of stuff was a weird stream. We started off continuing on with these puzzles of these settlements. I forget what they're called, but there's 4 of them that you need to clear out for the witches, right? Once you complete the witch quest line, and basically you're doing work for them, you have to clear out these 4 areas. They're not temples, they're not shrines, I forget what they're called, okay? So how do you do it? Well, for 3 of them, you simply kill a certain amount of enemies that are inhabiting them. Then you solve a puzzle with the movement of the items and things a la Tears of the Kingdom. And then you find a chest, you get a reward and stuff like that. But there's one that's different. In one of them, inexplicably, they put a boss. And it's not just a boss. It's apparently one of the most annoying bosses in the game, which I didn't know, of course. I'm just playing the game cold. So I went there to investigate, and I go to fight this boss. Number 1, the boss one-shots me. No exaggeration. The boss literally insta-kills me. And people are like, why is the boss one-shotting you? It didn't do that to me. And I'm like, well, I'm 16 hours in. How many hours in were you when you played it? Oh, 50.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, I also had this experience with the boss. Now, I didn't get one-shotted because I'm just not that stupid. My character is a little more well-built than that. But yeah, I was significantly more hours in because I was doing side quests and upgrading my gear and leveling up all of the time, doing these things and exploring. You know, playing the game like a normal person probably would. I wasn't just rushing the main story or anything. So this is how DSP gets himself into these circumstances all the time. And one of the reasons he has such an issue with Crimson Desert is he's just not engaging with a bunch of the features in a reasonable amount of time and instead just continuing the story, where he's getting stat checked on a regular basis with these bosses. It happened his first time around, and it's happening again with this other boss.
Maybe that's why. Maybe you had like 10 more health upgrades that I don't have yet, right? I'm just going in natural progression.
Was I playing it cold? Yes, I am.
The story had me do the witch mission. The story has me continuing helping the witches, and this is, yes, it's optional, but it's something that the game just presented to me right now as to do it. So why am I facing a boss that's so overleveled at this point in the game? It makes no sense. In addition,
makes no sense.
When you're fighting this boss,
how dare the game actually challenge me and expect me to have played a significant amount of it before I got to this point? How dare they, right? How dare they have leveled up my characters and garnered a bunch of new combat abilities to make me stronger? That's an insane expectation. Why would they think I played the game for? That's fucking dumb.
The boss is a constant teleporting boss, meaning it'll disappear, reappear, and then quickly attack. Herein lies the problem. The game's camera doesn't follow the boss, ever. Even if you've locked on, the moment that the boss teleports away, the camera loses the boss. Okay. So it keeps appearing behind you and one-shotting you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
It keeps one-shotting you. No, DSP keeps one-shotting you. I was never one-shot. I was 2 or 3 shot, don't get me wrong. I also had to come back to this boss, for the record. I did the other temples that he was talking about, and I encountered this boss, gave it a couple of attempts, realized I didn't have what I needed, and I left. As a normal person probably would do. But no, DSP is so pig-headed that if he can't just brute force his way through the game, apparently it's a bad game. Thank you, Paul Turner, for the 5. Saying someone else mentioned this in ALT stream, but Phil really is real like Veruca Salt. I want it now. Who is Veruca Salt? This is not something I'm familiar with, or at least not that I think I'm familiar with. Oh, is Veruca the lady from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Yeah. Yeah, she's the girl that gets eaten by the squirrels, question mark.
Die. Now, could I have beaten the boss? Maybe if I spent 3 streams on it like I was playing
Thank you,
Elden
Paul
Ring
Turner,
against
for the
Melania.
5. I appreciate it. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Right?
He definitely is a he's a immediate satisfaction or gratification individual. The person that he's always speaking out against the most is the person that he is, as is always the case.
Basically, here's how you fight him. You basically just do your meditation, and then when he's about to attack you, you parry. Now you can only do that for certain attacks. There's an attack he does where he does this like ground pound, and there's like this shockwave that comes out. That one cannot be parried, but his other attacks and combos can be. The thing is, I'm also not doing much damage to him. I am stunning him, but even when I stunned him, and there's an attack that I learned, when you stun anyone in this game, if you press right trigger and right bumper together, you can do like a visceral attack to punish them because you stunned them. It did 0 damage to him. So apparently they don't want you to do that, all right? I was hurting him, but I'm like, this fight would likely take me hours and hours to win. There's no point. So I raged, and essentially I said, the combat sucks. And why does it suck? Because it's bad. If you play a FromSoft game, like any Dark Souls game, Sekiro, Elden Ring, yes, absolutely, you can get to a boss that's overpowered. But the truth is, even in any game like that, you can stick around, learn the boss's pattern, and you can still win.
Right. And he absolutely could do this in Crimson Desert. You could do this in any game if you want, actually. There is not a game where you can't play perfectly and just win. I don't know of one. I've never played it. I've never seen it. I've never experienced it. A game where if you just play perfectly and never get hit and hit 100% of your shots where you don't win. The problem with that is you and no one else will basically ever play that way. So what fucking difference does it make? Why is it worth bringing up? If you're incapable of doing it, that's not a shortcoming of the game. That's a shortcoming of skill, and therefore is not worth mentioning, or you just look dumb.
I mean, I know for a fact. Remember the first boss in Elden Ring where I did that? You can't do that in this game. In Crimson Desert, it's all about over-leveling. It's about going out there and leveling up your health, leveling up your stamina, finding equipment, leveling up the equipment at the blacksmith a ton, then going back and just overwhelming the boss. And everyone said in chat, yeah, that's how we beat that boss. Basically, he is one of the biggest pains in the game because he does so much damage so early on in the game. And everyone just goes and overlevels and goes back, and then they're able to beat him because he doesn't insta-kill you with one hit. It's not a big deal.
That's not over-leveling. If what is that like? This is a lifelong gamer who genuinely believes that if you aren't being one-shot, you're over-leveled for the boss. This is how he plays games, I guess. This is his expectation. That it's normal to get one-shot, and you should be able to beat the boss with those stats, despite them very clearly not being optimal. And that if you don't get one-shot, you're clearly over-leveled and just cheesing the game, right?
So, yeah, I spent about a half an hour on the boss. He's absolutely impossible to beat because the combat engine sucks. If the combat engine was better and you could actually do things to make the fight more reasonable, like memorizing his pattern or whatever, but you can't. He just teleports behind you. The camera doesn't follow him, and he just insta-kills you over and over. It's trash.
Bro only has like 4 moves. It actually doesn't take that long to learn them at all. And after I came back and wasn't being 2-shot and instead was being like 4-shot, the fight is incredibly easy. You can just hit him with the palm strikes, the stuns. You can hit him with the heavy fucking overhead slash a couple of times. And if your sword is worth a shit, it does a decent chunk, you know? It's not complicated. But because DSP doesn't want to go experience the rest of the game, this might as well be the end of the world to him.
So the game's combat is still trash. I'm about 16 hours in. It's still terrible. I still hate the combat of this game. However, everything else that we did on stream today was very entertaining. We did a lot of exploration. I'm now fully using the traversal with that hook that you shoot out and you pull yourself to, and I'm climbing giant mountains and I'm gliding all around the environment, and we found a ton of hidden caves with good armor and stuff. We now upgraded our armor and got much better armor on us now with better defense.
Yeah, Sam Reynolds saying he teleports behind, dodge, easy. Yeah, well, you can literally, like, you can actually just slow the fucking game down with some of your abilities to very easily dodge and parry. It's not that hard. You'll just have to actually understand the mechanics that are at play and the systems within your disposal. The problem is he doesn't know them. He's not in tune enough with the game to understand the mechanics and use them appropriately. It's just a classic DSP fumble. Thank you, Some Gator, for the 5, saying most people prepare and arm themselves. Most people also use clothes hooks they nail into the walls. Not DSP. He's trying to Velcro attach success. I think that's a good way to put it, Some Gator. I think that's actually a very well way to put it.
And we actually did finish up the rest of the optional bases for the witches. There's that one we can't finish because the boss is too tough. So we had fun. Like, played about 3 hours today. We did have fun with the game, except that one boss fight, because they didn't scale it right and the game's combat is terrible. Okay? So, Crimson Desert continues to do well, but not as well as initially. I definitely noticed today a big trailing off of viewership. Like, there weren't nearly as many people today. We barely even had 200 viewers on YouTube for most of the day. People are just not
pretty
sticking around
normal
for
for
the game anymore.
gameplay.
Support, well, to be honest. Actually, at first, it was slower. At the end of the stream, it did pick up. Obviously, I'm grateful for that. So thank you if you were there and you supported Crimson Desert today. But I am starting to see the cracks in the armor, so to speak. We're not getting as many people for it. People just aren't that excited for it anymore. And the support is actually coming much later on the streams. So,
oh no, you
I don't
guys.
know.
How dare you give him $100 at the end of the stream? You were supposed to give him $100 at the beginning of the stream, before the gameplay, so that he could say that it wasn't for the gameplay at all and Crimson Desert is still doing terribly. It's just... Oh,
it very well could be. Now
he's
that we're
never fucking
this
satisfied.
Week, this could be the beginning of the end for
never
Crimson
happy,
Desert.
never
I don't
satisfied.
know. Keep in mind, we can't play it as a daytime stream later in the week. It has to be a night stream. So yeah, maybe this is the first signs that we've played it a good amount, and that's if people are going to be bored with it now, I don't know. I'll tell you this: when we play it again later in the week, I will be focusing on the story. Okay. The late stream tonight was RimWorld. We are doing the second run now. Well, I say second run. It's technically my 4th run, but it's really the second run where I know what I'm doing. New biome, where it's now getting cold, and tonight...
Yo, I listened to this last night. I didn't hear him say the first time that now he knows what he's doing. That's an insane thing to say, given the information he's just now about to give us. So this guy claims to know how to play RimWorld now. He's familiar enough with the mechanics to confidently say that he is he knows how to play.
We had some disaster. The crops died out because it got too cold outside, and we didn't have a way to keep them warm. Okay?
So his crops died because of winter. And this was a disaster. This was something he wasn't prepared for. He couldn't have seen coming. No way possible. This is a guy who knows how to play RimWorld.
And new challenges, new things going on, right? Different order, because, for example, how do we keep the people warm? Well, I don't know. We have to try to find a way to make clothes. Well, guess what?
Has apparently never made clothing, has never had to worry about his pawns being warm. But he knows how to play RimWorld, you guys.
We don't have fabric because we can't grow cotton because it's too cold. So what do? You hunt. Well, hunting only lets you make certain clothes. Uh-oh. Can you do stuff to keep them warm indoors? Yes, actually. You can actually...
Hunting only lets you make certain clothes? What the fuck is this guy talking about? He just doesn't have his tech up. That's why he can't build other clothing. You don't need fucking cloth in order to... You know what? It's not worth it. He just...
make these campfires indoors, and it allows you to then have temperature management, and then you can make vents to have the heat go through the different rooms. So these are all things I didn't have to do in my last run because it was eternal summer. Right?
Then he didn't know how to play the fucking game. This guy is objectively did not experience about not even half of the mechanics, but a large portion of them simply because he never experienced the temperature change really in his last playthrough. But I'm supposed to believe he now knows how to play RimWorld. It's just complete juxtaposition. They don't go together. It's contradictory.
Right, we could always grow crops. We could always have heat. This is the opposite. So, all new challenges. Yeah, we got attacked multiple times. New things going on. We actually did get another new colonist tonight, which was awesome. So, in general, it was a good stream. However, attendance for RimWorld has declined a ton. We do not have 200 viewers anymore on YouTube. We get like 50 or 60 on Kick. And tonight, support was not amazing. It was all right. We still made over $100, but it was not as good as it usually is.
Fuck, dude. I wish somebody would pay me $100 to play RimWorld. I wouldn't subject you guys to that boredom and tedium because it probably wouldn't be very interesting, a very silent Atlas playthrough of a RimWorld colony. But I just couldn't imagine begging after somebody paid me $100 to play one of my favorite games. That's crazy.
So that is a sign as well. So honestly, I'll be honest
DSP living the high life
I did
and
enjoy
crying
Crimson
about
Desert
it.
besides the boss fight. I did enjoy the RimWorld stream, but it very well could be that now it's mid-April, and I've been playing one game since December and one game over a month, and, you know, I think what's happened is people are wanting new stuff. Literally every day, people are coming by my stream saying, are you going to check out this new game on Steam? Are you going to do this? I'm like, how can I? I'm already playing 5 games, and now you want me to play 2 more new ones later in the week. How could I possibly play these other games you're throwing at me out of nowhere? So we're going to see what happens, all right? I am doing more streams of these games. Like I said, Crimson Desert will be Friday night's late stream, and I am doing RimWorld again on Sunday night. If people show up, engage, and support, I will do my best to keep these in the rotation, no problem. But let's see what happens. If we are going to see a sharp decline, maybe it is time to move on and to start new projects. I don't know. Let's see what happens with them, okay?
I don't know, he says.
Okay.
He knows. This is thin ice. This is, as the community would call it, thin ice. When the games are not meeting the fake $150 threshold that does and doesn't exist simultaneously at the same time, hence the word simultaneously, they're on thin ice. The next time that they don't reach whatever DSP's arbitrary expectation is, they're going to be gone.
Tomorrow,
but I don't know.
I will be honest, might be a day where we see a slow day. Why? Well, here's what's happening tomorrow. First off, a level 1 podcast in the morning where we're going to discuss the next DSP tries it, the possibility of another marathon, any gaming news, and more. So it should be a nice chill show, but we should have a lot of topics to discuss. All right? After that, it's Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. Now, the good news is we are ending the part of the game. We are unlocking islands. We're in the last one right now. And after that,
Jesus Christ. I know he's muting these snorts, but for all my visual styles, like, look at the recoil on this muted snort. I think legitimately he's snorting harder than ever before as of late since he's been muting. But the visuals on it are getting so much worse.
Reimagined. Now, the good news is we are ending the part of the game. We are unlocking islands. We're in the last one right now. And after that,
like the double and the side shake is crazy. Like the double recoil side shake,
supposedly
insane.
We head into the home stretch end game plot of the game. We are in the final third essentially of the game. Like right now, we're getting into the final third of it. Okay,
I'm not playing it in super slow mo. I already played it twice. Come on.
Yeah, it has always been the playthrough that has the least attendance, the least engagement, and the least support. I love turn-based RPGs.
Oh, Dragon Quest.
You guys told me
I forgot we were talking
playing
about
the games
that.
you like, so I have. But now we're facing a tough decision with new games coming out this week and everything, and people wanting new stuff. I don't want to drop this game after I've played it almost 50 hours, guys. So if you can come by tomorrow for the podcast, if you can come by for Dragon Quest or both, please come by, hang out, engage, and support that stream. All right?
So Crimson Desert is receiving all of its $100 or whatever at the end of the stream. He's not satisfied with it. It's bullshit. RimWorld is seeing less people show up to it and is still making $100 on the night stream, and he's not satisfied with it. But Dragon Quest fucking 7 is routinely under-attended and under-supported and has been basically the entire 50 hours he's been fucking playing the game. And not one time has he ever thought about dropping it. Not one time has that ever even fucking crossed his mind. The game that people consistently are not showing up for is not the one that's on thin ice. That's the one he's begging you to show up for because he doesn't want to let it go. It's just the complete opposite of how entertaining his audience should be working.
The late stream, Retro Rewind. Well, this is
it's like a dragon all over again. Yeah, is it just because it's got dragon in the name? Like, is DSP like obligated in some capacity to play dragon games against his audience's will? I'm not sure.
A game that I very much enjoyed. It's our indie game that's currently in the rotation.
It's
right?
just because it's a turn-based game.
We're now heading into almost end game. I believe tomorrow night we're going to hit like levels 14, 15, 16, which is almost, the end at 20 is the highest level in the game. We'll unlock more stuff to do, and it should be fun. But again, noticed we're getting some decline here. We're getting less people and we're getting less support. Last couple of Retro Rewind streams, we did all right, but not great. Again, it's going to be a challenge to keep these kind of games in the rotation if we're getting dwindling attention on them. So if you like these games tomorrow, if you want to help me out, right, to keep this momentum going, let's have a great streaming day tomorrow. Come by and hang out and support those streams if you can make it. Okay? All right, everyone. So I had a great time today.
All right. So that was the daily wrap for Tuesday night. Now, of course, all of this complaining, all this negative energy, it transferred over into the following day because we had to go over the schedule. We had to let the daytime people know how unsatisfied we are with our support.
And what we'll do today is very briefly recap everything that we've done. We basically are halfway through the week, so we played each game that I was going to play at least once.
Okay. Hang on.
In the case of RimWorld, twice. And what I'd like to do is let you know where we...
I'm going to, on the fly, load this clip up and take the fucking music out because I can't stand it. It's so distracting.
We are with everything.
And it's not good. Ever.
A couple of playthroughs seem to be stalling. And it's maybe not a very good idea. You know, kind of sucks. I don't know, because we got new games coming out, and I'm wondering how can I tackle and play these new games fairly and fully if I'm still playing 5 other games, especially because a lot of these are starting to stutter out. So we're going to talk about that today. I wonder if we'll come to a conclusion or not. The problem is we don't usually get all of that audience on the podcast. For example, we've got playthroughs going on that have been running since last year. We've got playthroughs going on that have been going on for 2 months.
Since last year. It's actually just RimWorld that he played on December 31st. That's how we're qualifying games we've been playing since last year. December 31st RimWorld.
Months. We got
just say it like it is. These just say that you've been playing whatever.
A playthrough currently going on of a game that I've now played 16 hours of, and I still don't know what it is. But that audience doesn't necessarily tune in live, right? And then basically when I do stream those games, the audience that's there for them claims, oh, we love it or whatever. But I'm noticing dwindling attendance, dwindling attendance, and dwindling support. So maybe it is time to move on from some of these games. We're going to talk about this today. All right.
Oh my God, Scrappy CC just reminded me. He said Sea of Stars crying right now, for real, for real. I forgot Sea of Stars even existed. We went to go play Dragon Quest VII Remastered or whatever, and we never even finished Sea of Stars. Oh my God. Thanks for bringing back Sea of Stars. I forgot.
So I think we should just start right at the beginning here.
And we kept telling people, yeah, Suikoden 2 also crying. That's true. Fuck, I forgot all the JRPG turn-based styles that we left in the past that we claimed we would inevitably get back to and finish, just completely forgotten into the ether. Oh, man. That's, I want to say sad, but I'm actually happy that it turned out that way.
Talking about the games that I've been playing and what's been going on with certain playthroughs and the like and how we should handle them, okay? So the truth is, I like everything I'm playing right now, at least to the extent where I would like to keep playing every game I'm playing. What games am I playing? Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, RimWorld, Crimson Desert, Retro Rewind, and what we'll do today is very briefly recap everything that we've done. We basically are halfway through the week, so we played each game that I was going to play at least once.
This is the clip that I just removed the music out of. And it looks like this.
In the case of RimWorld, twice. And what I'd like to do...
All right, I guess we'll go back to the... I don't... I'm sorry, today is just a disaster.
And what we'll do today is very briefly...
I don't know what to do, but
you may not realize. I need to start making...
What a mess.
But... Dragons going on that have been going... And then, wow, dwindling attendance beginning here.
Yeah, we were late here. My
talking
bad,
about
guys.
the games that I've been
playing.
You
have to listen to the music.
And what's been going on with certain playthroughs and the like and how we should handle them, okay? So the truth is... I like everything I'm playing right now, at least to the extent where I would like to keep playing every game I'm playing. What games am I playing? Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, RimWorld, Crimson Desert,
what is going on?
Retro Rewind, and Pokemon Fire Red. Those are the 5 ongoing games that I've been playing, okay? But I've been playing a lot of these for a while. Notably, RimWorld we've been playing since December 31st of last year. We're almost 60 parts in, okay? Dragon Quest, over 40 hours in, nearing the final third of the game. We're getting into the home stretch. Pokemon Fire Red, right now about maybe 16 hours in.
Anybody enjoying Pokemon Red in this chat right now, I want to personally say, fuck you. That game also is boring as shit to watch DSP play. There was nothing going on and there was no entertainment. I sometimes leave it on in the background. Huge waste of time, huge waste of audio space. I hate everybody that is actively enjoying that playthrough.
Continuing on with this awesome retro throwback playthrough, only the second time I've ever played the original Pokemon, and it seems to get a ton of engagement when we play it. Retro Rewind, a game where you relive the 90s and the era of the VHS rental store. We are about, I want to say 14 hours in, but I have distinctly noticed that the crowd for the game is slowing down. We're getting less people and we're getting less support, and the videos on demand are also doing poorly, okay? Crimson Desert. This is a game that when it came out a month ago, I think it was a big question mark, right? Would it be good or not? Would it be something that everyone likes, some people like, no people like? Well, now we've played Crimson Desert for almost 20 hours. We all know what it is. It's a jumble. It's a literal...
It's a mishmash. It's a cacophony. It's a montage. It's not. It's a No, that's a different word too.
Mishmash of amazing amounts of content, but it's not very coherent.
See how many of them I could make
and in
up.
my opinion, combat is terrible. I like a lot of other elements of the game. I just don't like the combat. So, I've noticed, again, the last couple of streams of Crimson Desert,
was what I was looking
dwindling
for.
attendance,
Smorgasbord is good.
Being harder to get. I'm not saying that the streams haven't been supported. I'm saying that a lot of the times the support for the stream comes in last minute. Like someone at the very end of the stream will be like, oh, it looks like Phil didn't get a great stream today, and all of a sudden we'll dump a big tip or something like that. And obviously,
which he's asked people to do in the past, by the way. This is regular Dent behavior that he has absolutely supported in the past. If you see him not having a good day and you want to see the game continue or whatever, be the change you want to see, support the game that you want to, you want to see continue or whatever. That's what he's asked for and numerous times in the past. But now if you do it, it's like it's not true and authentic to what people really want. It's not a proper way to gauge the enjoyment of the stream, I guess.
See, that's a little weird. If the game had a bigger viewer base or more interest, you would think that people would be supporting it the entirety of the stream, not very last minute, right? So all of that being said, that's
Shout
5
out.
games. And the problem that now I am coming up against is very simple. We've got more new games coming out. We've got 2 this week. We actually have more at the end of April. How can I juggle all of these games at once? And the answer is I can't. As one man, there's no way that I can juggle 7 games. It's never going to happen, okay? So I think we need to start making some tough decisions. And the question is, what games will continue? What games won't? What games are doing the absolute best? What games are not doing so well at all? And go from there, okay?
Please allow me to point out, too, that you don't experience this really on anybody else's stream. If you watch any other content creator, whether it be gameplay or any other genre, in all honesty, I can't think of another content creator that it is so prominent in their content that you help them pick what content they make in this way. You just don't get this anywhere else. This is like almost exclusive to DSP, I feel like. And it is at his own detriment. This is not content. This is what they call non-tent. I know DSP doesn't understand that word. He wants to use it very frivolously for people that do actually make content and entertain and make people laugh. But this is, I believe, the definition of non-tent. Just talking about nothing that matters.
Now, let's talk all about this, okay? The 2 new games coming out start tomorrow. Tomorrow's first stream will be the premiere of Mouse PI for Hire, a first-person shooter action game with cartoony old-style graphics but adult themes. I'm interested to see, number 1, is it good enough that it'll hook us and we'll really like it? Or is it a one and done where we just...
Did he just say cook us? Is the game going to be able to cook us?
Game with cartoony old-style graphics but adult themes. I'm interested to see, number 1, is it good enough that it'll cook us and we'll really like it?
That's definitely a C on the front of that. I hope this game cooks us. I hope we're cooked, chat.
Or is it a one and done where we just experiment with it and feel like, yeah, all right, we see what it is, but, not for us. Maybe we'll love it, maybe we won't. Maybe it'll be something we play a few streams of. Maybe it'll be something it's just one and we're bored, right? I don't know. The reviews are kind of middle of the road. Some people say it's really good. Others are like, man, not so much. So because you have that split among critics, it basically means that it's a toss-up. So hard to judge a game like that when we haven't played it yet. It is something different, but is it going to be good? I don't know. We won't know until we try it, okay? The other new release this week is Pragmata. Now, this game is from Capcom. AAA release, great graphics. Critics love this game. Across the board, almost everyone who's played the game is saying it's outstanding, particularly for a new IP in 2020.
My cat is fucking everything up. Jesus Christ. So yeah, we believe the
when most of these AAA studios are just pumping out another iteration of a franchise,
must be the GOAT.
This doing something new and different and original is actually pretty good. Pragmata will premiere on Friday. It actually comes out Thursday night late. We'll play it as the first stream on Friday, okay? My mentality is this. Give each a major stream. You know, Mouse PI for Hire Thursday, Pragmata Friday. Let's see what games resonate and stick and people like, and what doesn't. If they both resonate and stick and people like them, we'll play more streams of them as daytime streams immediately on Sunday and Monday, okay? If not, then maybe we'll play whichever one did work on Sunday, and we'll just drop one of them, okay? We got to see what happens. I honestly don't know what to expect, and I don't know what will happen, so I'm going to judge it at face value when we play these games for the first time, all right?
Great. As opposed to every other fucking time we play a game, DSP. And this is why he can't complete any games. This is why we have to actively juggle 7 games and we never finish anything, and everything is always taking super long, and they don't design the games around somebody like DSP, who is super busy, whose time is absolutely a vital asset that he can never give anybody else of. This is exactly why, because we spend ages talking about what fucking games and reiterating that we're going to be judging them based off of how well they do, like we don't do with every fucking game on every fucking stream every fucking day. It's so tiring. It's so irritating and grating to spend 30 minutes a fucking day doing things like this and then hearing him whine, bitch, and complain about how tight his fucking time is.
But now, what we have to talk about is the future of the playthroughs that I'm doing, okay? Let's go systematically through. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, as you know, is kind of my guilty pleasure game. I love old school turn-based JRPGs. They're part of my life's blood as a gamer. I grew up playing these games in the 90s, games like Final Fantasy 4 and 6, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, etc. I love them. I want to play them, but I almost never get a big audience for it.
Thank you to the Deep Friar 745 for becoming a member of the 60 Skulls, the Skeleton Gang, a member, if you will. Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it.
In fact, just to give you some perspective right now, currently on this podcast, I have 164 viewers on YouTube, and I'm going to guess I have 50 on Kick. Let's see how many viewers we actually have on Kick. I'm going to guess 50.
How is this relevant?
Let's take a look. I have 63 on Kick. The podcast did just start. We typically get a lot more viewers over the course of the show. I would guess that by the end of this podcast, we'll have nearly 200 viewers on YouTube and probably like 80 on Kick, something like that, okay? When I start playing Dragon Quest VII, on YouTube, we will likely barely hold 150 viewers, and on Kick, we're going to drop probably to like 60, 50. Happens every time. People, for some reason, don't like this genre on my content. I don't know why, because I love it. I have passion for it, and every single time that I play it, I have a great time. I like chilling with you. I like enjoying the interesting different plots that have happened in the game, of which there's been like 12 right now. And we're actually heading into the final third of the game, where it's going to be the home stretch. Finally, I believe the story is supposed to actually get more.
The longer I watch DSP, the more I'm starting to believe that the idea of playing something that you enjoy and that you're knowledgeable about, and maybe you've even played it in the past, and that's how much you enjoy it. Most content creators that play video games could probably get away with doing that. They could be entertaining, they could be knowledgeable, they could give insight, and they can have fun, and their audience would have fun. I'm starting to genuinely believe that even when DSP is having fun, he's actually always going to be incapable of allowing that to resonate into his audience. Because he never has actual insight. He doesn't have any funny or quirky takes on the game. He's not interesting. You know, he doesn't tell good jokes naturally, so he's already kind of at a detriment there. Like, he might actually be the only gameplay content creator that is incapable of making fun for other people, if that makes any sort of sense. Like, he might actually be the enigma, the one person who can't make it work for him, just being in, like, having an enjoyable time, making it enjoyable for other people. It's actually crazy that he's the one person with this skill set to always make everything miserable, even when he's geeked to be there and do it.
More solidified as you make a final push towards taking out the Demon King and all of that. So I am excited for it, but I know it's going to dwindle. This has been the playthrough that I have said all along. This is the game that I know will not do well for viewership, engagement, and support. But because you guys have supported me through all of the other stuff that I'm doing so well, I have the flexibility to play this game and enjoy it, even though maybe not everyone else does.
And this just threw everything he said prior to this, whether it be on the daily cope that we watched the night before or before this moment here in this section that's 8 minutes running now. He's able to play Dragon Quest VII because everything else is doing so well, while simultaneously telling you that everything else other than Dragon Quest is on the chopping block for not making enough money and not getting a high enough attendance. Again, it's just completely contradictory. Your reward for paying him on other games, the games that you actually enjoy seeing, your reward for that is to allow him to play a game that you don't want to see and nobody enjoys because he wants to. It's so bass-ackwards and nonsensical. Only in DSP's fucking Pignosis-style reality could this even fumble out of somebody's fucking mouth into the world the way that it has.
And I want to say thank you for that. I love this game. I love this genre. To be able to enjoy it and play it because of you guys and your level of support with everything else, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Okay? So, we're 2/3 into the game, over 40 hours in. I would prefer to not drop the game right now when we're heading into the home stretch. Okay? RimWorld. This has been a game that I have very much enjoyed ever since we started playing it in late December. You guys finally convinced me to give it a go after me looking at it for like a year and being like, oh, I don't know because of the way it looks. After having now played it over 60 hours, I can tell you the game is outstanding, incredibly complex. It's like an onion. You peel back one layer, there's 10 more inside that you now need to like adapt to and learn. And right now we're actually in the midst of a brand new run. We've only played it for 4 hours. New group of survivors on a new biome on a planet where now it's all cold rather than hot, which was my last biome. We got a vampire in the group, and that's very different. We have to hunt and gather rather than grow.
Vampire? This guy doesn't even know the proper lore term. He's got a sanguiphage in his fucking party. Not a vampire. Come on, DSP, put some respect on the name. Also, I genuinely think he bought the wrong DLC. Like, Biotech is very good DLC. It adds quite a lot to the game, but it adds more content, like, later on in later technology periods, and I just don't know that that is going to benefit DSP as much as a different DLC probably would have. Brother probably would have been better off with the royalty or honestly an ideology. I think ideology would have been the DLC to go for. Its impacts are immediate. There's a lot of fun to be had and all of the goofy things that you can do. Yeah, chat told him which one to buy. Well, they told him the wrong fucking one, buddy. Biotech is an incredibly fun DLC, but there's kind of a prerequisite that has to be met technologically in order to do those things. And I think that would take DSP a long time to do, and I think it would be too complex for him to meaningfully interact with the mechanics. But anyway,
props very different for what we did the
sorry
last
to
run.
be autistic.
So I
about
really
it
am
or
enjoying
whatever.
it. All right. However, just gonna say this. I'm gonna throw it out there. Right. If you take a look overall at RimWorld, when I stream it, we don't get a big streaming audience. In fact, you may not realize this. When I stream RimWorld, it's the least attended thing that I do. I'm serious. The RimWorld streams get less viewers than Dragon Quest. Now, you may argue, well, that's because Dragon Quest is the daytime stream, and usually you get more viewers on an earlier stream. You get the build up from the podcast or the morning show. You're right. I'm not necessarily saying that everyone that's there for Dragon Quest is there for Dragon Quest particularly, but what I'm saying is just facts. We are not getting a huge crowd for RimWorld. We did it first, and after about a month and a half, it died out, and now we get very low attendance for RimWorld. It's actually the lowest.
The thing that happens to every DSP gimmick inevitably happened once again. Say it ain't so, team. Say that we didn't all see this coming. That the initial interest of DSP playing a game that he's not smart enough to actually comprehend, the luster of it wore off shortly after everyone held his hand and taught him the very basics so he wouldn't struggle nearly as much. I couldn't have foretold this.
Attended thing I even do on Kick. And on YouTube, it's been dwindling recently.
That's me lying, of course, for I'm a sightseer and a prophet, and I knew this would come inevitably. I mean, you probably all did. We're all sightseers in that way.
As well. Now, I'm not saying that the engagement is bad. The engagement is quite good for RimWorld. Whenever we play it, we got people both on YouTube and Kick that are participating, explaining the game, helping me out to do better, and I really appreciate that, because if it weren't for you, I probably would never have been able to enjoy that game. It's just so complex, and it requires so much time invested to learn it, that it is your ongoing help that allows me to enjoy. So cheers to you if you're one of the people who comes and engages when I play RimWorld.
Cheers to you if you hold so that he can make money on a regular basis.
Now let's
It's
talk.
a nice service that you provide to the poverty-stricken, like the guy, who is, of course, super poor, and his wife is fat, and he's miserable.
Talk about support. It's all over the place. Like, I'm not kidding. There's some nights I stream RimWorld, and I'll make like $200. And then there's other nights where I struggle to get to 100, if that. It's up and down and all around. And RimWorld was a dependable stream for a long time. And in the last month that I've continued to play it, it definitely hit the wall. And you might say, well, it's because your playthrough was going so long and people were getting bored. I thought that was the case until I reset the playthrough. We're now playing with a DLC with mods. And to be honest, last night, we didn't even do a great stream when it came to support. It was all right. Don't get me wrong. I think we made like $120, which is good.
Yo, $120 for RimWorld, and we're still fucking crying about it. That is just insanity to me, dude. I remember when the goal was $50 in tips. Now we're actively making $120 fucking dollars, and we're still crying. The ego on this guy is insane, man.
But
his
nowhere near the
are
levels of
ludicrous.
what was happening when I
Shout
was
out
playing
Mr.
this game
Ludicrous.
just a couple months ago. So this used to be the dependable game where I'd get a good audience and good support, and this would help make up for the other days when I was playing things that were slow. But now, it looks like RimWorld is the game that's becoming slow. Particularly, I'm not exaggerating. I want you to take a look at this. Okay?
Yeah, this song fucking sucks.
Here are the views from yesterday. Ready?
I hate this music.
Now, yes, you can argue these videos are only 13 hours old, but, is anyone watching this? And you can go back in the week to the other RimWorld videos. If something goes horrible and there's a disaster, usually the views will inflate. In this case, we got 600 because I started the new DLC. But then take a look at the second part of that DLC. Only 300 views in 3 days, because this actually is 3, not 2. YouTube always counts wrong. I don't know why. I mean, Pokemon is doing better. Retro Rewind is doing better.
All of these numbers are embarrassing. I really do think at this point he's splitting hairs when it comes to this view count shit. The difference in money or retention that he's receiving between a 300 view video and a 600 view video is actually so small it's not even worth bringing up. This is like peak griping and bitching about things that have no impact on anything whatsoever, if I'm being honest with you. The view audit is crazy, especially coming off the back of I guess a couple of months now of telling Jordy that not everything is about views and that you got to find your niche of people who want to see you do X, Y, or Z and not to worry about the view count. Yeah, but now we're actively auditing views this way on such a small scale. It's actually irrelevant. Thank you, Just Kyle, for the 2, saying, here's to good audience and good support. Well, thank you, Just Kyle. I appreciate the good support. We do have a good audience here, of course. I think that more than 0 is probably pretty good for talking about the guy. So I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you.
Pretty much everything I'm playing is doing significantly better. RimWorld is right now my least viewed series, and I mean that. Even Dragon Quest, again, which isn't getting a lot of views, is kind of outperforming it. So
Isn't it seriously like a dime versus a quarter of revenue? I'm going to be honest. When I was making videos or these streams or whatever the case might be, if it's sub 1,000 views, I would just venture to say it's not making money. The amount it did make was not worth even calculating into your budget for the month. So what are we fucking talking about? If I'm being straightforward and honest with you.
Oh, maybe it's just very simple. I've played RimWorld for 4 months, and it's finally dying out after 60 hours of gameplay. Now, I know some of you might be like, wait, no, but I love RimWorld. Well, I'm with you. I really like the game, so I want to keep playing it. But if
he objectively does not like the game, because he said himself that if it were not for the audience hand-holding him, he wouldn't have bothered to learn the mechanics or play it for an extended period of time. That is very clear indication he didn't like the game enough. If you like something enough, you would bother to go out of your way to learn about it by yourself, individually.
you want to see me keep playing it, I need people to watch it, and I need people to support it. And it had gotten consistent support for a long time, and now it's fallen off. So the thing is, I'm not going to cancel RimWorld. I'm not. But I need to see how it does next week. And if it goes well next week, then I likely will say, okay, not a big deal. All right, but if it doesn't, if it falls off again and it's slow next week, it might be time to say goodbye, particularly because we need the time in the schedule in order to play other games, okay? So let's see how RimWorld goes next week. All right. I can see that we have a bunch of idiots in the YouTube chat, so I'm just going to take care of them quickly before I continue so I don't get distracted by idiots. There you go.
What are they saying? They got people, Mr. Magikarp saying, this conversation is not very entertaining. I just want to watch you game. How dare you? Jawbone Play says, I'd kill for those views. You're killing it, bro. Keep your chin up. Well, Jawbone Plays is officially retarded. Very cool. Very, very awesome of you. Oh, Bongo Clown saying you're talking and not listening to us at DSP Gaming. That's a ban.
Wasting time. Here's another one. Okay, goodbye. What's funny is, on the kick side, we have the usual crowd of people who are like razzing and stuff, but on YouTube, all of a sudden, mysteriously, a bunch of accounts you've never seen before, never heard from, are all being toxic and negative in the chat. Gee, I wonder if that could be related, right? You know what they say? It's the devil you know versus the devil you don't. At least I know when I look at kick chat, it's the same people, and they're going to say that kind of stuff every day, and I kind of expect it. But then when I look at the YouTube chat and I start seeing these toxic people, I'm like,
wait, it's the devil you know as opposed to the devil you don't? That's not an apt saying here. You're not picking between the two of them. There's no choice to be made. What are we talking about? We're just saying random shit at this point.
the fuck out of here. Okay. So, RimWorld. Next week, I'll be keeping my eye on it. I like it. I want to keep playing it. But if it ends up underperforming another week, I think we're done with it. And it's time to move on and use that schedule time for other stuff. Okay? Pokemon Fire Red. I'm honestly shockingly delighted with how well Pokemon Fire Red has gone. Okay? And what I mean by that is it's doing very well. When I play it, we get a regular crowd that come out and hang out. They engage and help me a ton with the stuff that I need to know about Pokemon. And the support has also been great. And for the record, people might be like, oh, it's because in Pokemon, you charge people to name your Pokemon. In this playthrough, not particularly, no. That really hasn't been the case at all. People are just supporting because they like seeing me play Pokemon. And this is the first time I've ever thrown or ever played a throwback Pokemon game, one of the originals. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, yeah, like I'm shocked that it's actually doing as well as it is. And I'm having a great time with it. I am.
I'm also kind of in disbelief that DSP would be getting any money for an old school Pokemon playthrough. Like, I know his dents are super into Pokemon. They love naming them. It's one of those IPs that dent heads like DSP's fans are just they're emphatic about. There's no way around it. Like, Pokemon draws in a dent like a moth to a flame, I think. But still, the gameplay is just so fucking boring. And the same music on loop, just fucking minute after minute, tens of minutes after tens of minutes, in menus, just farting around for no fucking reason in particular half the time. Just huge L's worth of gameplay.
So, Pokemon is fine. I have zero complaints. Let's keep that rolling because it's doing very well. Okay? Retro Rewind. So, Retro Rewind is a game that I very much enjoyed when we started playing it 3 weeks ago.
Slander. It's not 8-bit music slander to say that I don't want to listen to the same fucking 8-bit music tracks in the same fucking menus for tens of minutes at a time while he's fucking, spelunking through his gin-soaked brain for an idea or a thought. I just can't do it. I can't listen to these same fucking tracks on an indefinite loop for hours on end. I'm going insane.
All right. It is an indie game.
I'm very
hostile. It is a game with that
I'm gonna apologize.
relives the 1990s. A video store. Setting it up and buying new releases and getting them out there, new genres, decorating the store, selling snacks and drinks, and essentially running your own business, right? And the ins and outs of that, hiring and firing employees. Are you going to do checkout tonight? Are you going to check in the tapes? Are you going to go toss out advertisements with brochures? What avenue should you take in order to make sure that this store has maximum business, okay? And I've had ups and downs in this game. Some nights, we've had a lot of people show up and hang out and talk about the 90s and the days of Blockbuster Video and stuff like that and have a great time. But I'm going to be honest.
I've never seen one of these streams, for the record. I didn't care to reminisce with DSP about Blockbuster Video or whatever fucking movie rental place, a Family Video. I don't need to. I don't care about old man's old stories. Sorry.
I do feel like the game at this point has kind of hit the wall. We've now played it for around 15 plus hours.
30.
And we're not really unlocking much more new. Like last time we unlocked a new genre of movie, kids movies, and then we unlocked the refrigerator where you sell sodas. and it's fun for 10 minutes, and then it's like, okay, back to the grind. Nothing is really going on. Like, I feel like more will happen when we get to the Christmas holiday, which we're getting to. We're getting really close to it, but you have to grind to get there. You know what I'm saying? So I like the game, and I find it very chill. Like, I would say it's a chill vibes game. If you look at all the games we're currently playing right now, yes, Dragon Quest is very chill, don't get me wrong. But as for like a late night chill stream, definitely Retro Rewind is our late night chill stream right now. It is the...
How do you get any chiller than turn-based combat? Like, I'm going to say, and this might be a hot take, this might be a terrible opinion as somebody who doesn't enjoy turn-based stuff. That is the most boring way to play a game as far as combat goes. I would objectively rather play an RTS than a turn-based game. I struggle to think of one that I've ever even enjoyed. How do you get more chill than the game literally pausing and allowing you to think for an indefinite amount of time? I don't know.
Most relaxing game and interesting and stuff like that, okay? So, tonight we're playing Retro Rewind.
He said being a cashier in Retro Rewind is strenuous. I believe
and people
that.
show up and engage and support it again like they have in the past. I'll keep going. But if I notice that it dwindles tonight, this might be the final night for it, all right? And this is not a threat or anything. Again, what I'm finding hard is I like all the games I'm playing, but they're all so lengthy. Seriously, it's all so lengthy. And yeah, Acid Rain says, you have to spend $8,000 to expand. Your shelves are then end up empty. It's far too grindy for our late game game. No, I hear you. Like, what's happened is the last 2 streams, we expanded the store in Retro Rewind, and it got good because now the store is big, so we started adding shelving and everything. Everyone loved it. But then 2 streams,
Halo
we haven't really
Wars
done much at all.
I already played Halo Wars back on the original 360. That was the first and only other RTS game I think I ever enjoyed before Dawn of War. Not that I played too many or tried.
We just kind of maintained. We are leveling up, but the things we're leveling up is like a new genre movie. Okay, that's cool for 5 minutes. Oh, the water cooler, you know, to have drinks. Big deal, right? Nothing big is really happening anymore. So let's try one more time tonight. Again, if the stream does well, I'll keep going, because the thing is, the game ends at level 20. Like, level 20 is the final unlock, and then they said they're going to add more content in the future. I'm at, like, level 15 now. So another couple streams, we may hit level 20. And then it's good that we can just put it on pause regardless until more content comes out. Oh,
my God. And this is such a I keep saying nonsense. I have to stop saying that this stream. No more nonsense. This is such a ridiculous game, I think, for him to care so deeply about. The idea that we are going to reach the end of the game and then potentially come back when they update it and add more things. Like, this is Retro Rewind is not one of those games I think would be worthy of that. I don't think that they're going to add content that is gonna, like, fundamentally completely flip the end game experience and make it, you know, exceptionally more fun. Like, I just don't think that that's the case. I don't think that Retro Rewind you know, warrants that kind of attention to be brought back. It's very strange that he's decided that Retro Rewind is the game for him like that.
So there you go. Let's see what happens tonight on the late stream. If it goes well, then great. Let's keep it going. But if not, that might be it for now. Maybe what we'll do is we could go back to it in the future when there's more content, because the game devs are adding more content, including in the future a way to fix the broken tapes when they break. And also video game rentals. I think that'd be dope to have video game rentals.
Dope.
That would really add a spark, because I mean, we're all gamers here, and that's what we want to be talking about, right?
You could just talk about games. Like, the games don't actually. He knows they're not going to be real games in the fucking game, right? Like, Retro Rewind is not going to have, like, fucking Crash Bandicoot in it so that he can be, you know, it'll re-jog his memory into, you know, recalling Crash Bandicoot and talking about it for, you know, an extended period of time. He could just talk about whatever he wants whenever he wants, dude. What are we fucking talking about now? Yeah, we're all gamers here.
Okay,
right, fellow
now,
gamers?
The final one, and this is the one that I really want to talk about right now, is Crimson Desert. But before we do that, it looks like the first contribution of the stream just arrived.
How cool.
Someone did a $2 tip and says, why did you time someone out for asking your Mount Rushmore of YouTube chatter? Seems like a harmless question. Because it's not a harmless question. When you ask a streamer that question, what you're asking them is to get drama started, because you're asking them to pick favorites. Okay?
Okay. I mean, Is that necessarily drama? Like I don't know that I would qualify it as that, because it's not that serious. You pick out 10 random people, 6 random people, 4 random people from your chat, be like, these are the people I interact with every day. Jade, fucking Darziak, Satan. There's a couple of other dented style individuals in there that he could call out that he sees literally every single day and call it a fucking day. It's not like we didn't have to blow it out of proportion and ban people or anything like that. That's so silly.
So I'm not going to do it. And if you ask a stupid question like that, I will time you out. It's my right. And if you question my timing you out,
yeah,
I'm going to time you out again. And if you then keep it up, I'm going to ban you. Thanks for $2. Okay. By all means, everyone, today, if you enjoyed today's podcast, please support it. I'm well aware that, again, when I play Dragon Quest, people don't stick around. We will end up losing viewership a lot when I start playing the game. So getting the early support today will help a ton. If you could support the stream early on, please do. That would help a lot. And I'd love to give you a nice shout out. Okay.
All right.
Crimson Desert. When the game came out, it was a humongous question mark. Is it good or not? Right? We don't know. All the reviews were all over the place. Half the reviews were saying it was one of the best games they've ever played. And the other half were like, this game is terrible.
The game... Jesus Christ. The games journalist did not like the game. The people that you watch online, the content creators, the people that actually play video games seem to be enjoying it en masse. Like I said, when it was coming out, I read many Steam reviews. I watched many reviews of the game the day that it came out from a bunch of different people that I've never heard of from all walks of life, and they all seem to be enjoying the game. So this is just DSP confirming for everybody that he validates the games journalism opinions as much as real people. That's him taking into account games journalists as if they're people or as if their opinions have ever mattered.
I land somewhere in the middle because when I played Crimson Desert, I absolutely love the graphics. I love the world and the exploring of the world.
For the record, you do not hate journalists enough. If you're not using all of your heart every single day, all day long, you're not hateful enough.
The traversal and things like that. I love discovering secrets. I love finding caves, and I actually like finding all kinds of stuff in the world. All right. The story. So far, it's not that bad. It's just not coherent. Like every time that we try to do the story of the game, it feels like we're doing a completely different story. Like, so far in the story, we got sucked up into the sky for a bunch of floating platform puzzles, and we're given mystical powers by a bunch of beings that still haven't been explained. Then, we ended up doing some kind of like a base regrowing or rebuilding on the ground level as we got our tribesmen, the Greymanes, back together. We had to...
We have the tribesmen, the gang, back together? What?
Doing some kind of like a base... regrowing or rebuilding on the ground level as we got our tribesmen, the Greymanes, back together. We had to rescue some of them with sneaking missions like Assassin's Creed. Oh, but then we ended up having to...
There's sneaking missions? When did this guy play a sneaking mission in the fucking game? What? I'm further in the game than DSP is, and the only sneaking mission was hardly a sneaking mission at all. You just walk through the back door and grab the guy and leave. There's no... Anyway,
engage in all kinds of crazy combat, but then we had to go to a mystical school where they were researching stuff, and then we had to fight some kind of a floating demon where we got sucked back into this other plane and back up to the sky where a guy was using the powers, but we don't know why. And then we had to fight a giant ape monster for no reason. Just a giant ape monster showed up at a celebration, a party, and we had to fight it. And then after we fought the ape monster, we had to go help the witches. And then we cleared a bunch of bases for the witches, which they called sanctuaries or shrines. And that's where we are right now. Like, what? Yeah, I know. None of it makes any sense. Literally, none of the storyline in the game is connected. It's all just a bunch of disjointed stories. So you can tell the people who made the game don't make narrative games at all. They have no idea how to even write a coherent narrative. They just had teams do these mini stories. And they slapped them together and pretended like this was a campaign when it's not. It's just a bunch of arbitrary missions that you do to advance the game, but really doesn't advance anything because there's no story. It's incoherent.
But he just told you that all of these missions, or at least the vast majority of them, and I can attest to this, the vast majority of the missions up to the point where DSP has played, is exclusively to get the gang back together, to rebuild the warband, to get the characters back into a state of power so that they can retake the land they lost in the intro of the game. And that oftentimes also extends to helping the locals out, the local lords and kings or whatever the case might be, to get them on your side so that they can also provide you with more information and more opportunities to get your gang back together and grow in strength, to again defeat bigger enemies and garner more land and power. It all does actually fit together. Now, some of it seems a little disjointed, but that's because you were getting a tip that somebody heard from somebody else that there's a thing going on in a different village and you should go investigate. I mean, if that's disjointed, a lot of games suffer from a disjointed story, but sure. Thank you, Crooked Hound, for the 5, saying, I'll tell you, my favorite content creators were always the ones who coordinated how I naturally show my support as a fan, like a manager at work. Yeah, well, that's what everybody wants. They want their entertainment to feel like a job that they're implored to come to and give their money to for some reason. That's how everyone finds the most entertainment. I would agree. Thank you, Crooked Hound, for the 5 at the great point. Jordan Fadeaway for the 5 as well, saying, does his RimWorld gameplay make you laugh, cry, or lash in anger? Plus, Crimson Desert playthrough is him trying to place the game on another game. Playthrough is him trying to place the game on another game? I'm not quite sure what that means. Does his RimWorld gameplay make me laugh, cry, or lash out in anger? All 3 at the same time. I'm laughing hysterically while tears run down my face and I punch the sky in frustration. It really is like that. His inability to navigate menus and have everybody show him everything all of the time, and he never understands any of the mechanics, and he's constantly looking for where he needs to do all of the things that, yeah, I'll pass. It fucking sucks. Thank you, Jordan Fadeaway, for the 5.
So the thing is, every time that I play Crimson Desert, I have no idea what I'm doing. Or I don't. But the thing is, I enjoy it about 80% of the time. However, 20% of the time, I have to fight. And every time I have to fight, I'm bored to tears or I'm frustrated because the game's either way too easy or it's stupidly difficult. The combat is atrocious. I don't care what everyone says. Oh, well, you should have done this or that. What's hilarious is every time I criticize the combat, 2 completely different groups of people clap back. One group says, oh, you just got to get good because you actually can play the game at a high level. But then another group says, oh, you can't play the game at a high level. You're just here too early. Go grind and then come back 10 hours later. So which is it? Because even the people who clap back at me when I criticize the combat can't agree.
Oh, Jordan Fadeaway was trying to say that he thinks that it should be like Mass Effect or Dragon Age. Yeah, he's not allowing it to be its own game, therefore he's frustrated with it. Yeah, that's an easy enough mistake to make, but he's just short-sighted and narrow-minded.
That says something, okay? So here's the thing, all right? Crimson Desert.
Sorry, did he just do the thing where he said nobody can tell me how to play 100%? They're not in agreement, therefore it's a bad game.
Stories, they slapped them together and pretended like this was a campaign when it's not. It's just a bunch of arbitrary missions that you do to advance the game, but really it doesn't advance anything because there's no story. It's incoherent. Big sip. So the thing is, every time that I play Crimson Desert, I have no idea what I'm doing. Or I don't. But the thing is, I enjoy it about 80% of the time. However, 20% of the time, I have to fight. And every time I have to fight, I'm bored to tears or I'm frustrated because the game's either way too easy or it's stupidly difficult. The combat is atrocious. I don't care what everyone says. Oh, well, you should have done this or that. What's hilarious is every time I criticize the combat, 2 completely different groups of people clap back. One group says, oh, you just got to get good because you actually can play the game at a high level. Right. But then another group says, oh, you can't play the game at a high level. You're just here too early. Go grind and then come back 10 hours later. So which is it?
Well, those are the 2 options. It's not which is it. It's these are your 2 paths forward. You're going to have to pick one, right? That's what they're saying. Maybe when they tell him, like, you can't play at a high level, you need to go level up, they specifically mean you cannot play at a high level as demonstrated by your gameplay. And we've come to the understanding of that. So therefore you must go level up. Maybe that's how they mean it when they say it, when they type it, when they chat it. But those are the 2 paths. Be good, get good, play perfectly, or go level the fuck up and stop wasting everybody's time dying to a boss that you basically stand no fucking chance against. Like, I don't understand how he doesn't understand this.
Because even the people who clap back at me when I criticize the combat can't agree. That says something, Okay?
I don't think that it does.
So here's
I don't
the
think it says
thing.
anything at all,
All right.
actually.
Crimson Desert. I don't
Completely
dislike
meaningless,
it.
if you will.
All right? I literally don't dislike it. I would keep playing it. However, I've noticed the last couple of streams haven't done that well. All right? Notably yesterday's daytime stream. Okay? We didn't get good support till the last minute. Like, it was last minute, and all of a sudden, 3 or 4 people all said, oh, let's support Crimson Desert. And I got a big tip, and I got a big super chat. It's like, whoa, well, this all showed up at the end of the stream. So, that's not a good sign. If people like the game enough, you think they would have been supporting it the whole stream, not last minute, right? In addition, once again, I would like to drive your attention to Crimson Desert videos. You ready?
Oh shit, review auditing. Here we go.
The game that when I was heavily
I don't want to be
criticizing it
misreviewed
and saying that the combat sucked, and I was getting thousands and thousands of views on those videos. Now that we've gotten
and thousands of views, you guys. He was just raking in the views, racking them up. I fucked it up. My bad.
The real gameplay loop of the game, which is mostly exploration, I'm bringing in an amazing 168 views per video, or 278 views per video. What video got more views? The one where I raged at the game and said the combat sucked. So unless I'm just going to overact every video and say the combat sucks, it seems like this playthrough doesn't get much traction. And if you want to know why, it's very simple. People who are interested in Crimson Desert played the shit out of it within 2 weeks and are done with it. And everyone else moved on. The game is just too long and disjointed to really work well on a channel like mine. Being honest with you. Like, if it had coherency, I probably would have played it more.
I promise you right now, you can find tons of content creators that are getting more views than DSP, and they're probably earlier in the game and still actively playing. These channels exist out there undeniably. So this is a nonsensical excuse. Sorry, we're back to nonsense. I can't stop myself. Everything he says is just drivel.
But I purposefully didn't play it a lot because it didn't seem like it was really put together well, which is true. And so I'm playing it a couple times a week, and it's not getting longevity. You can see that people have fallen off when, again, Retro Rewind and Pokemon are doing much better than Crimson Desert is. Okay? So, once again, I have to ask the question. Is this another situation where initially there was a ton of interest, but now that interest is waning, people are moving on, don't really care about Crimson Desert, and want more stuff? I don't know. Okay, now, I'm not going to drop the game. Again, much like these other games, I'm not dropping it immediately. But I'm making it known that if people don't continue to show up, engage, and support with these playthroughs, I'm going to drop them because I need time for new games. Okay? So right now, out of all the games that I'm playing, I would say RimWorld, Retro Rewind, and Crimson Desert are the 3 that I got my eyes on, saying they're all starting to underperform. So if they don't...
Getting over $100 per stream is underperforming for DSP. Yet DSP can't even manage 200 viewers and $100 on a fucking Dragon Quest stream. But that, again, is the only game that's not on the chopping block. That's the only one that doesn't get the thin ice treatment. Just because it's a JRPG. Like, what is DSP's ultimate goal? I seen someone earlier in chat saying that the reason that he won't quit Dragon Quest VII is because this will be the new linchpin on which DSP will stick to his narrative that if he plays games that he enjoys or the next JRPG that comes out or whatever, he's not going to be able to play it because look at Dragon Quest VII. It didn't do well. You guys didn't show up. I didn't show up. I played it the entire time, all the way through. And the entire time, no one was giving money. No one was attending. Like, if that's the reason that we're doing this, like, we have our priorities fucked up. We're going out of our way to actively make worse content simply so that we can hold it against our audience as some, like, lesson later on. Like, he's teaching them something. And that's just stupid. And disrespectful to his audience, in all honesty.
Bounce back and have good streams, likely they're going to be out of the rotation. And this is going to give us time to focus more on the other games and the new games. Okay? Notably, over the last 2 to 3 weeks, almost every day, someone comes on stream and actually says, hey, Phil, are you going to check out this new game that just dropped? Phil, will you check out this right here? Are you going to play this? And I'm like, I can't. I've been playing the same games for 2 months. I can't get through them because they're all so lengthy. We're kind of stuck. I don't have time in the schedule for another game. And then people are like, oh, frustrated to hear that, but I understand. I don't want people to be frustrated. I want people to enjoy what I'm doing, you know? It's weird. Here's the thing. This is the opposite situation of what I used to be in. And allow me to elaborate on that.
Allow me to explain. What do I mean by that?
I used to not be able all right, to have enough stuff for the schedule because I didn't have a gaming PC, because I didn't have a bomb-ass setup to stream, right? So I was very limited in what I could do.
Yeah, it's a real fucking bomb, as in it's literally a fire hazard that could explode. He's correct. He has a bomb, comma, ass setup.
If it wasn't on Xbox and it wasn't on PlayStation, essentially I was assed out. So I was stuck only playing console games for the longest time. And at a time like now, when there's not a lot of releases coming out, I'd be like, damn, basically I'm stuck. We don't have enough to do. What do? Do we go back and play an old game for the 100th time, right? Now, we have so many options. So many games are constantly coming out, and people are, will you try this one? Will you do this one? I would love to, but we're already playing too much.
We're playing too much. I feel like we're not playing enough. I feel like this 30-minute, because we're almost 29 minutes into this segment here, specifically from this day of crying and whining and begging. 30 minutes of this could have been gameplay. We could have been making progress. We could have been completing games and moving on positively. But instead, we do this.
Decisions. Let's see how everything does in the next week. Here's the best advice I can give you.
Yeah, and Crustpunks just got a point. Why are we doing another fucking Mega Man marathon then? That's boy, is that a good fucking question. Man, I would love to know the answer there. Movie sign with the 2 saying more like bum ass setup. It's true. It's true. Anyway, you cut the mustard, it sucks. You're right.
If you like any of the games that I just mentioned, show up to the streams, watch them, engage, and support them. That's the best way you can keep me playing them. All right? What underperforms is likely going to get knocked out of the schedule. Now, what if you can't make the stream?
Oh, so Dragon Quest is gone then.
Like, let's say you really like Retro Rewind, you wanted to continue, but you can't make the stream tonight. Come on by, watch the videos on demand, like them. You could leave a super thanks on the video after the fact. I'll count that towards that game. You could leave a tip at any time. There's always a tips description in the video or the stream. Or you can come by a different stream. Like, I've had people come by and be like, hey, so I can't make your stream tonight. I'm just going to drop some support now and say, hey, keep that game going. And I keep that in mind. I do. It's just that a lot of people are under this impression the only way they can support a game is to show up live when I'm broadcasting it and do it that moment, and that's it. That's not the case, okay? So if you like these games, support them. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we can get people to show up, all right? And let's go from...
I mean, but he doesn't actively, like... He's done it before, so that... All right, let me get my thoughts together. Hang on. He will not actively or consistently keep track of people saying, hey, you know, I couldn't make X, Y, or Z stream for this game, so take, you know, put this towards that. There's no way that if he got that on a regular basis, multiple times a week, that he would actively keep track of it and take that into consideration when going through his schedule and figuring out what he is and is not going to play. So it is kind of true that in order to continue the games that you want to see get played, if you are that individual, is to show up live and support the stream. And if you're incapable of doing that, you're incapable of seeing the streams that you want to see continue. That's just the way that it is. There's no way you're going to give $25, $50 or whatever and be like, this is for Pokemon that you're playing on Thursday and it's Monday and he's going to remember that. And when Pokemon doesn't do well live, you know, it gets $25, $50, whatever, and that's it. He's not going to remember or care about the $50 you gave him earlier in the week. He's just not that kind of guy. He doesn't have the brain power for it. And it's not going to fit whatever narrative he has going at the moment, which is obviously the most important thing. So this is fucking stupid.
There. And I got a $2 tip. What would you say is your unique selling point as a content creator? Do you like the niche you filled in online? Me, I mean, I'm one of a kind, name. Really.
I'm one of a kind.
Most people who make content these days have fallen into one of several different archetypes. Whether it's the, hey, I kiss every game's butt and say they're all good so I can get promotional opportunities and I shield products and I'm overly positive so that way I get stuff early and I get invited out to promo events and shit like that. That's definitely one archetype that people who do Let's Plays and stuff have fallen into. Then you've got the daily drama creators who it's like, everything's negative, everything sucks, I have to dump on everything, I have to crap on everything, right? I'm in a unique spot where I've been doing this for 18 years. I'm successful without any sponsorships, any partnerships, any promotions, any crap. So I can just sit here and do my thing
Successful to him meaning that he can pay his bills, by the way. That is literally it. It is pure monetary success. He does not care about people's opinion of him. He doesn't care whether or not he's thriving socially, if he's accomplishing any of the many, many large milestones that other people experience in their real life, such as, having children. That was taken away from him, of course, by the trolls. Huge W. Thank you, everybody involved. The world is a better place. But he doesn't care about any of that. It's purely about how much money he's making. That's what he defines as success. That's why he's able to do it without, that's why he's able to say he's successful without sponsors and this, that, and the other, because he's still making money off of retarded people.
I don't have to answer to anyone. I don't have to walk on eggshells. You know, when you turn into a DSP playthrough, you're getting my genuine opinions on the game with no sugarcoating and also no over-exaggeration for view-click purposes. You know what I mean? Clickbait purposes, excuse me. It's all real.
Also, Fort Worth raised with the truth and honesty here. He also did get kind of a sponsorship a few months ago when he received that free game and was able to play it. This is true. This is true.
And the people who like me come here because they're like, wow, honesty. You can't really get that with a lot of people anymore. It's all for money. And for me, I'm not doing this just to be rich because I could be. I literally could be rich.
I could be rich,
instead of that,
guys.
I choose the different path. And it's a tougher one.
He's not, though. He has been on record just numerous times saying that he's not able to get sponsorships, not able to partner with anybody, not able to do collabs. All of that is taken away from him because of the negativity about him online. This is not him choosing to be successful / unsuccessful in the rich department. This is him just trying to cope with the lot that he was handed due to his own actions.
But it's one that I have passion for. So yeah, being here for 18 years doing this and being able to do what I love and have people who trust me and come by and enjoy the content every day.
Also, yeah, he was rich at some point, Crust Punks. He says that he could be rich. Well, he was, and he threw it all away. He squandered it. That's part of what makes DSP so entertaining lore-wise, as he was given this incredible boon. Honestly, one of the biggest lotteries that you could win could have won, was early day big money YouTube. Just an absolute plethora of money just being handed out like hand over fist, and he lost it all. Unironically lost it all due to his own inability to spend money appropriately.
It's a great feeling. It's a lot different from what most people do who try to do this kind of content full time, that's for sure. Do I really believe these things? Oh, not only do I believe them, they're true, and you're a fucking retard and you're banned. So get the fuck out of my chat. What's up, Chris? How you doing, man? Good morning.
Not only are they true, but you're fucking retarded, and that's true too.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, I have just... Oh, that's a good time to pause the music. I just received $100. $100 tip, but my screen crashed. Just as I was saying that, my screen crashed. Hold on. I got a $100 tip. Very nice.
This fucking sucks. Anybody looking at this screen right now, I'm sorry.
All right, this person says, this is for Pokemon Fire Red.
Please, someone fucking riddle me why this guy can't make an alert that's a reasonable amount of, like, length. Why is every single one of the alerts that he decides to fucking use just, like, 30 seconds for some reason to just waste a bunch of time? It's actually insane. I've never seen anybody pick worse alerts than the guy on such a regular basis. Like, don't get me wrong, some of them are short enough. It's like a fucking Mario power-up noise or whatever. It's a Hadouken, sure, whatever. But it seems as though as of late, when he's consistently changing his alerts to all of these games that he's been playing or the special events like the April Fool's thing or whatever, he just picks the longest fucking sounds on the planet. It is actually detracting from the content, which I didn't think was even more possible that he already does, given that it's DSP content.
Get rid of Crimson Desert. So this is a dual contribution. It's to
Do I remember the
Fire
wind
Red,
one? Yeah, it sounds like a fat motherfucker breathing into the microphone for 30 seconds. Yeah, it was very winter-coded. I was definitely receiving a Christmas aura off of that one. Just fat motherfuckers breathing into the Xbox Live microphone. That's peak alert. I agree.
Get rid of Crimson Desert. Wow. Well, thank you so much, obviously, for that. That is absolutely amazing. $100 contribution helps a ton. Thank you so very much. And like I said, right now, hands down, the most successful game right now is Pokemon Fire Red. It's getting great attendance, great engagement, great support. People are absolutely loving the playthrough. The videos on demand do well. Yeah, shocking. But I guess Pokemon is becoming a huge staple of my content that people just really love. Go figure, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Are you kidding me? I just received, are you ready for this?
Well,
another $50 contribution, which means it's time to see the briefcase of affluence. Yes. Oh, and there was another super chat as well. And
see, like the briefcase of affluence is a reasonable length. That's a reasonable alert. Not that I appreciate the fucking hype up, the gay little hype up clap that he did.
I'll shout that out in a second.
But it didn't play for 30 seconds.
So
that's a win.
It says, this is from the same person. They said, I'm giving you another $50 to be sure that we get rid of Crimson Desert. This person really wants Crimson Desert gone. Holy crap. So they are determined to get Crimson Desert canceled from my schedule. Wow. Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
He said that like Richard Simmons. Who the fuck is Richard Simmons? Is this an old head reference?
Thank you so much.
Is this what the boomers enjoy? All right. So, spoiler alert. We have canceled and are no longer going to be playing indefinite hiatus style RimWorld, Crimson Desert, and Retro Rewind. So that thing that wasn't a threat, he was just taking into consideration how well the streams are doing. Yeah, every single one of them is now on an indefinite hiatus that will probably never come back from. So I hope you're excited for the complete I always want to say rejigger, and that is not a term, and it's very slur-like, so I shouldn't. But reconfiguration of the schedule, there we go. That's the one I was looking for. Everything on the DSP stream is changing. All of your favorite games, again, quote unquote, are no longer being played. And that takes us to yesterday, where we talked about this new version of content that he decided to do, which I was made privy to just this morning. The Neo Geo, because everybody wants to talk about the Neo Geo, of course. And then the Kino Casino Quarter Pounder drama, which I have not talked much about, but I am vaguely familiar with. And that actually kind of goes with the Neo Geo topic, considering the Quartering had to sell his Neo Geo collection to get out of bankruptcy or whatever. So that's pretty cool.
If you haven't seen...
Rejigger is absolutely a word, is it? I was making that up.
Any...
Gotta look it up.
Of the Mouse PI for Hire gameplay yet. Maybe you've been holding off to watch it and you haven't pressed play on it.
Yo, rejigger is absolutely a fucking word, and it's appropriate to the way that I've been trying to use it. All of you rejigger fans can absolutely get fucked. I mean, not the fans, the haters. Sorry, I got it twisted. But anyway, fuck you. I was correct the whole time, and I should have never have doubted myself.
A nice, stylized montage for you. I put it up last night. All right, right before I was like getting ready for sleep, basically.
Oh, Richard Simmons did workout
made the highlighted video on this channel.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
So if you haven't looked at the gameplay yet, maybe you want to watch the montage to see if you like it before you indulge in 3+ hours of gameplay. All right, it's got some editing there, some highlights. You might like it. You might like it. Right now, the latest video on the channel. Again, I hope that you guys...
He cut out all of the begging. He cut out all of the dead air and the chat scanning. And it turns out maybe you'll actually like this content. Who knows?
We'll give it a look. And obviously, let me know what you think, okay? Maybe this is something that I will continue to do with content on the channel if it pans out, meaning if people actually watch it
and nearly
like
an hour?
And if it's helping the channel. All right, if it's not, then I might not continue to do this. I did this with Street Fighter 6 last week. I've now done it with Mouse PI for Hire, and I'm probably going to be doing it with other stuff too.
That's how out of tune I am with the Street Fighter nonsense. I didn't even know he made one of these videos for that gameplay. I literally didn't know it existed. Where's his montage video? Sorry, I'm looking for it. Oh, it's this one here. DSP goes Looney Tunes for Mouse PI for Hire. It's so good, in all caps. Yeah, and it's 42 minutes long. What a good montage. I'm sure everyone will love that. They'll click on that, they'll watch all 42 minutes of it, and then they'll go watch the 3 hours worth of gameplay of shit that they already saw. This is a really good idea, DSP.
Depending on how it's received. You know, I dropped the video in the middle of the night, and so basically didn't get a lot of views, being honest with you. The video right now, as of this morning, has, I'll look at it over here, it'll be easier so I don't screw up my setup. 569 views in 10 hours. But
I do want to show you guys the thumbnail.
So,
this is one of the
as
worst
the highlight video on the
thumbnails you
channel,
can have.
hopefully it would pick up some more attention and people will give me their honest feedback on it. Do you like this actual style of video? Over the years, everyone has always said, Phil, why don't you do highlights? Why don't you do these montages? Why don't you do this stuff, right?
Are you guys clicking on this video? You see this thumbnail? Is this drawing you in? Is this the hook that you would be looking for a video? This face like this? I think that's a tough sell, to be honest with you. It does have 1.3 thousand views on it, though, which is more than any of the other parts to Mouse PI got. So I guess it's successful in that aspect. It's got more views if we're going to view audit, but yeah, I would never click on something that looks like that. Fuck me.
So here it is.
Horror story.
It's there.
Yeah,
By the way,
serial
how do you
killer
like
eyes,
that?
literally.
How do you like that customized animation for Mouse PI for hire? Pretty cool, right? So, thank you guys for checking out the content yesterday. The streams went excellent. Hoping for another great solid day today. So let's get going. I'll be honest with you. I'm happy that they finally fixed it because I've now streamed on Kick for nearly 2 years, right? I started in like the fall of 2024. And I hate to be, transparent about it, but I will be. As people know, a lot of people who support my content get harassed. Just because you support DSP, people might come after your channel, your social media, nasty comments, thumbs down bullshit, right?
Right. Well, look, if you're going to perform actions in real life, you are ultimately the sum of your actions, and people can question those actions and therefore draw an opinion of your character based off of them. I don't think that that's that absurd of a concept. I would just say if you don't want that to happen, be careful. Make alt accounts. Don't put your name on them. It's that simple.
People have wanted to do anonymous gifting on Kick.
I can't believe we have to do this all of the time.
What's happened is when they try to do it, it reveals their real name when they do it. So there was no point in saying anonymous when in the pop-ups it would say, oh, here's the person who did it. They finally fixed it. So now as you can see, all that happens is it says that these people all got a sub for a month. And it hides the person's identity. So now you can safely do anonymous gifting, which is awesome. So thank you so much to whoever that was. The 5 anonymous gifts are very appreciated. Can we get a RimWorld fails montage? Well, the villain, we'll see. Like I said, I'm interested in doing so much new stuff. I'm listening to feedback. I'm trying to give you guys what you want. All right. I've gotten feedback that said we want some montage content rather than always watching the raw content. If you can do some montage and things like that.
Who is saying this? That's a genuine question for all of you Atlas viewers right now who hang out in the Raw Phil chat, who even hang out in the real DSP gaming chat and read all of that. Who's asking DSP actively whether or not he's able to make montages because that's the kind of content that they would enjoy? Who's asking for this? I've never seen this. Yeah, literally no one would be my answer. Is Darziak behind the scenes sending emails talking about montages?
Then, maybe more people would come to the channel and just watch the highlights, right? And then if they're interested, they'd go to the raw playthrough or whatever. So I'm giving it a try. We're going to see what happens. Okay. If people actually, bite at this idea and will watch the content, then cool. But here's the truth. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. And it doesn't get a lot of views. For example, the one that that we put out last week, which was the Street Fighter 6, me quitting Street Fighter 6 a week ago. I think it was well done. Okay, it highlighted me completely crashing out, sucking at the game, and saying, I quit, I'm done with this crap. People who watched it liked it. It has a whopping 3,600 views in a week.
I'm looking for that video right now.
Do you think that 3,600 views, but by the way, that results in about $9 of profit for me. Do you think that's worth the effort that went into the video? What do you think? No, that's the answer. No. But my hopes is that if I continue to make this style of content, that it would actually get some eyes on it. People would start to realize, oh, Phil's doing these highlights and he's doing these montages now.
I'm looking at it right now. Sorry, that's what I was doing while he was talking, and I missed most of everything that he ever said. But I'm looking at it right now. It shouldn't be shocking to me, but it is incredibly funny. The only way that Street Fighter video, I think, got 3.7 thousand views is because it looks like a detractor video. Just legitimately, unironically, if you've seen the title, it finally broke him. DSP quit Street Fighter 6 in epic crash out. I think that's because people think it's a detractor video. He just, I guess he finally figured out that you can just make detractor clips and people will watch them. That's literally it. That's why it got as many views as it did. It wasn't because it's edited well. It's not because it's a good montage. It's not because that's the type of content that his fans want to see. I genuinely believe that popped up in people's feeds and they thought it was a detractor video because it looks just like one.
And they'll come by and start to watch those and it'll get its own audience as opposed to just people who are coming by to watch the raw gameplay, which is usual. Ladies and gentlemen, I just received another 5 gifted subs from the anonymous subgifter. I'd like to draw your attention to this. The price is insane. So this is essentially a replica game cartridge. Okay?
Oh, this is about the Neo Geo. We switched over, guys.
$90 for one game in 2026? Now you might say, well, that's because it's a collector's item and they're bringing it back, they're manufacturing it. Yeah, but you have to understand something. All of these games have been available emulated for free online for over 25 years. I remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was emulating these games on PC because you couldn't actually get them at home. So the only way to do it was to basically emulate them on PC.
So 20 years ago, DSP was capable of emulating. He was capable of doing it when the software was not nearly as refined as it is today. The ROMs weren't nearly as available as they are today. And the technology that's literally in his computer was just not as refined either. He was capable of doing it 20 years ago or whatever. But now, in the modern day, when he is asked to emulate or play retro games on his computer, he acts as though it would be pulling teeth. It's a completely impossible process for him to understand. He would need walked through it, handheld, if you will, hoof-held, if you will, and that he could never do this on stream. It's crazy how times change. When everything gets better, somehow his ability gets lesser.
So I remember playing Garu Mark of the Wolves and stuff in like 2001. Why in 2026 would I spend $90 a game to own this retro library when it's free?
If you value the physicality of it, if you value having the collection and having that piece of technology in real life, in reality, that would be the reason. But valuing things is not DSP's strong suit. He only values himself.
And so after looking at this, okay, what I came to the conclusion of is pretty simple. This is something that if you're a collector, all right, if you've always wanted a Neo Geo, you couldn't get your hands on one in the 90s because maybe it was too expensive, you were too young, and now finally you have the opportunity to own it. Cool, right? I compare this to the exact same situation we just had with the Virtual Boy, where, yeah, you can buy the stand and you can put your Switch 2 in it, and it does play these Virtual Boy games, so it's the Virtual Boy experience.
Robert Williams, that's a great question. Why did he buy Pokemon Red when it's completely free to emulate online? That's a great question. That is so odd. How much is Pokemon Red right now?
But the thing is, do you really want to spend that much money for a stand? Well, do you want to spend $350 for the console, joystick, Metal Slug, and then $90 each for each of these games that have been free on the internet for 25 years? No, not unless you have money to blow. So it's a nice idea.
He spent $20 to play a game he could have played for free.
But at the same time, it's way too expensive. Like, for example, if this was coming out and these were the price tags, and then each game was $20, I'd be like, oh, so you could buy the whole library for $100. Perfect. I'm not spending $90 on a fucking cartridge for something that's on my computer right now that I can play. You know what I'm saying?
It's not on his computer right now, though. Like that's if he's making an argument with things that just aren't even true. If he wanted to say that I could have on my computer right now for free, all of the software's out there, it's a couple of downloads, it's one thing. But he's actively arguing right now and saying things that are false. So these things are not on his computer right now for free.
That's insane. Or maybe what they should have done what Nintendo's doing and did an online subscription service. So
okay, and there we have it. There is the peak consumerism that is DSP, and the entire reason I even wanted to hear his Neo Geo thoughts and opinions and ideas here, because I wanted to point out that DSP is the only fucking person I've ever heard argue more in favor of fucking subscriptions and not owning a goddamn thing. Every fucking time with this guy. It's just peak convenience and a maximum consumerism. The dollar has no fucking value to him. He has no inkling to ever own anything and have ownership. He just doesn't care. He wants to have nothing and eat the fucking bugs and be happy. DSP is that person. The New World Order loves DSP undeniably. The biggest retarded mark on the fucking planet.
How about that this console just plugs to the internet? You spend $10 a month and you have access.
Yeah, $10 a month indefinitely for all of time, and DSP will never notice it and then complain about how fucking broken down bad he is. How cool is that, you guys? How robust?
To their library of games, you don't have to buy them.
He's
all,
a slave.
right?
I fucking wish, dude. Please take
good,
the rights away from DSP.
It's
He
too
doesn't
expensive
deserve
for what it is. And I'm not saying I can't afford it. Of course I can. I just don't want to spend money on something that I'm going to play once and I'm never going to play again, right? Oh, I can play Metal Slug by myself. Because this console does not have online capabilities. It's literally a replica console of original Neo Geo, but it has HDMI out now. So I could play them single player or invite a friend over and maybe do co-op, and that's it. There's no online play, no online features. Anytime that a new game comes out, you got to drop $90 to buy it. No thanks. So there you go. I just don't see the incentive to get it, except for a collector. A collector might want it. I don't see anyone else wanting that. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, he said he could have friends over for co-op. This motherfucker doesn't have friends. We already talked about that. There's no evidence of them existing. No stories DSP's told where he was hanging out with friends. No names. No evidence whatsoever.
That's my take on it anyway. If you can believe it, 6 more subs were gifted over on Kick anonymously. 6.
Also, part of his argumentation for not getting the Neo Geo is, why would I need to do that when these ROMs exist online for free right now and I can emulate them? But he is the exact same person that'll tell you that emulated games online are not one-to-one with the originals, and you're not getting the true and real and authentic experience doing it this way.
6. That's crazy. Thank you so much. So now Anonymous has now gifted 21 subs? I think so. 21 anonymous subs have been gifted so far today on Kick. That's crazy. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 20. 21. 21 anonymous subs. Damn. Well, someone's certainly enjoying the new anonymous sub feature working, and I appreciate that very, very much. I really do. Thank you so much for that.
Move on.
Everybody loves Draven. Did a $2 super chat. He says, now it's quartering time. All right. Let me talk about it as quickly as I can. All right. So for those who don't know, the last couple of weeks, people keep coming by my streams and bringing up the fact that there is an ongoing feud between the Quartering,
yes,
who is an internet content creator who very much is into politics. He is very conservative, okay, and deals in those circles. He always does other content as well. He does like Magic the Gathering content and stuff like that. But
for the record, the Quartering is the biggest, fakest conservative on the planet. He espouses one thing while actively living a life and values of another. So he's a pathetic grifter, first and foremost. DSP's not going to say this because he's not actually familiar with any of the content that the Quartering does. But yes, he is undeniably a culture war grifter who stands for nothing and falls for anything, as long as the money is coming in. It is actually embarrassing, regardless of what end of the aisle you're on in regards to culture or politics. Nobody likes a grifter. Nobody likes somebody who, doesn't stand for anything.
Today, he's mostly focused on culture wars and politics, and he finds himself on the conservative side of things, okay? The reason that people associate that with me is because many years ago, he did an interview with me at a time when I hadn't done any interviews, okay? A lot of people say that he gave me a softball interview. And
he did.
To this day, when I think about it, it's like it was more of a chill conversation. Sure, he did ask me questions that had to do with some drama stuff, but for the most part, it was just a nice conversation with the guy. All right?
Yeah, none of the questions that anybody wanted to ask DSP were actually asked whatsoever. None of the things that anybody wanted addressed were ever addressed. It was just the quartering prattling on at DSP asking bullshit questions for quite a while. Honestly, one of the worst DSP collabs that has ever existed.
It also wasn't that long. What was it, like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that? This was long before all the side scrollers interview drama or any of that crap, okay? So that's why on that side, people associate that with me. On the other side, the quartering is feuding with Kino Casino. All right. Kino Casino, everyone knows the association that I've had with them, that I worked with them for about 8 months. And then we had a falling out, a big public thing. And basically in the last year, they've made endless amounts of content about me while I have completely ignored their existence, except for the fact when you guys bring it up in my chat and I'll briefly say, haha, and then we move on. It's not a big deal, right?
I thought he was King Snake that was pulling one of the biggest heists to ever have been pulled, but now apparently it was just a big falling out after 8 months of work. It's weird how we've reframed the narrative all of a sudden. We're not nearly as confident and gloating over the Kino Casino as we were, previously. Very odd how that's now the case.
I'm doing good. I don't, care about that shit because I've moved on and I'm doing very well for myself, okay? So, when these two sides, two different, sides of things are getting, smashing each other's heads against each other, all right, people tend to want to get my take on it. So what is going on? So from what I'm to understand, increasingly over the last 2 years, Kino Casino has covered the quartering in a negative way, making fun of him, drama stuff about him. And from what I'm to understand, I don't know if I understand that situation fully, it got personal. It wasn't just about, the quartering's content is garbage and stuff like that. It got more into, much like the casino always does, they got into his dirty laundry. They found the skeletons in this guy's closet, When they're talking about Nick Rakita or whatever, they're not just talking about what he says as an internet lawyer. They're talking about the fact that he's doing drugs and getting arrested, right?
Right. That his 5 or 6 year old or whatever the fuck is popping positive for fucking cocaine traces. Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, if you're going to be an online content creator personality type and you're going to present yourself one way, you probably shouldn't leave your closet with the skeletons in it open for other people to find. It's one of those things, man. You have to be a little smarter than that.
Exactly. So in regards to the quartering.
Yes, like DSP discusses LTG's child support. Exactly. He doesn't see anything wrong with that because it's been, brought to the internet and there's really no way you can avoid this sort of information now and you can only go off of the information you have and is public. But when it's the quartering, for some reason, getting cucked out by God only knows what, I'm not going to say what type of individual it is. Anyway, all of that.
From what I'm to understand, they got deep into personal stuff regarding him and his family. It wasn't just him, but it's him and his family members and things like that. Well, I can kind of say, yeah, I kind of get it, because that's exactly what they did to me. If you guys don't remember, that's why I stopped working with them, because they kept saying insulting things about my wife for literally no reason. Like, my wife...
Because you brought her onto the content and she was, like, fat and ugly and can't do makeup. I mean... If I brought on a friend of mine that was fat and ugly and couldn't do makeup, I would expect you guys to say, "Hey, your friend is fat and ugly and can't do makeup." That's just the reality, man. If I didn't want that to be said, if I didn't want that to be the case, I wouldn't bring them on the fucking content.
It's not part of my content. She's not part of the conversation with them. Why are they insulting my wife? Oh, because they think they could just get away with whatever they want.
Well, they can.
And everyone's going to like it. Well, I didn't like it, and I said, I don't have to work with you anymore. I hold all the power in this situation, and I cut the cord, and I left, and haven't worked with them since, right?
Right.
Well, the quartering basically said, I guess for what I'm to understand publicly, he said publicly, listen, I am not going to let you guys do this to my family. It's one thing if you are insulting me, if you're insulting my business, and to be honest, I like you guys and I like watching your content. I even like you guys making fun of me. I think it's funny. I get it. Everyone gets a turn to be made fun of, right? But the fact that you are...
That was not his stance, by the way. He was crying on Twitter like a couple of months ago to Josh Moon, talking about, why are you letting them post these things up on Kiwi Farms about me and mine? I thought we were cool. I had your back, da-da-da-da-da, because he thinks that he has some sort of, like, immunity to being made fun of, which I don't know where he ever got that idea from. You know, the guy who regularly talks about shitting his pants and explosive diarrhea while creeping on his co-host, his female co-hosts, definitely deserves all of the ire that he fucking brings forth.
Making it so public, this private stuff, this personal stuff that is not part of my content, right? That's where I draw the line. Now, did he just say, well, I'm not going to talk with you guys or work with you or ignore you? No. He basically made very public threat. Well, I guess it wasn't public threats. It's so weird and convoluted. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the whole situation. For what I'm to understand, the quartering started talking to Josh Moon. I don't get that at all. Like, do you guys remember Josh Moon, the guy who I did an appearance on Kino Casino with? He's the guy who owns Kiwi Farms. So maybe he talked to Josh Moon, I guess, because the private stuff about his family was on Kiwi Farms or something. I don't know. I mean, I had the conversation with Josh Moon. And we got nowhere.
Now, notice that this conversation is about DSP all of a sudden. Notice that it's about him. We couldn't just talk about the drama, the facts of it, the way that it's playing out, the current circumstances. We have to get DSP's personal interaction with all of these characters before we actually address the drama at hand. Because his experience with all of them is clearly the most important.
Like, essentially, Josh is of the impression
irrelevant.
that everything and anything can be on Kiwi Farms, and there's no absolute limit to it whatsoever. He thinks that Kiwi Farms is the best website on the internet. He's nuts. I mean, to be frank with everyone, he's fucking nuts. Like, the guy has no moral compass whatsoever. And because of that, it's dangerous to have that kind of power in the hands of someone who has absolutely no morals or values and just thinks that everything is for the giggles. And, it's messed up. Okay, just being honest. But I said as much, right?
Right,
and
yeah, you cried as much. It's true.
At the time, we kind of agreed to disagree. Now, I said, listen, I don't hate the guy, but what am I going to do? I'm just not, again, just like with the casino, I'm not going to deal with him. I'm not going to talk about him or whatever, right? So that's where we've left it. Like, I haven't talked to Josh Moon or said a word about him basically since. I don't really care.
It is incredibly funny to me that DSP is very quick to call out Josh Moon as not having morals or values when Josh Moon has a very consistent stance on why he values what he values, where his morals are on the topic, and it is very consistent and foundationally based, whether you agree with him or not. Meanwhile, every opinion and response DSP has ever given to basically anything is entirely subjective, built on a foundation of nothing, and cannot be proven undeniably. But DSP's actually the one with the morals and values, of course.
Nothing to do with it. I'm moved on. I'm good, right? Here's the truth. If you're doing well for yourself, why do you care what other people say? Okay? When did it bother me when people were constantly talking shit about me? Because I wasn't doing well. Because my content was being stolen. I wasn't getting enough profits or views on the content I was putting out. I was struggling financially, and it drove me nuts. It made me get stressed out. It made me constantly rage about my situation and whine and bitch and complain about it. I've been doing good now for 2 years. I don't give two shits about any of these people. I don't care what they put on any website. I don't care what they say in any video or any fucking Christmas special. Who cares?
But you heard him earlier in the first clip we watched where he was yelling and shouting and raging about denim bananas and his wife not being fat and about how happy he is. That's not the actions of somebody who doesn't care what people have to say. That isn't the actions of somebody who isn't listening to detractor and troll narratives. That's the actions of somebody who is, like, deeply wounded and affected and trying to get his licks back in.
Doing good. That's all I care about. So, to help with what the internet says, right? I understand you're not going to please all the people, and there's always going to be people who rag on you in life. That's part of being a public figure.
This has nothing to do with the quartering.
So if you have that problem and you don't want to be ragged on, then don't be a public figure. Go to the private sector. Go get a regular job. Go get a 9-to-5. Do normal work. Don't be in front of thousands of people every day for scrutiny and skepticism, and then you won't have that level of harassment, right? I know that, and I've accepted it. So every day when I come on here and you guys make fun of me, I'm like, well, whatever, who cares? I'm doing good for myself. Why do I give a shit about any of that? You know what I mean? I shouldn't.
We're just raging against the detractors right now.
Could not accept that. All right? And
tying it all back.
The quartering, I guess, in a conversation to Josh Moon, supposedly, said, listen, I've had enough. I'm not going to allow those guys to talk about my family anymore. They can talk about me. They can talk about my content, but they're not going to talk about my family. Therefore, I am now making basically this like ultimatum, all right, that they're going to take down any clips about my family. And if they don't, I'm going to use my contacts, my business contacts on the internet to take them down, to essentially take everything they own. Okay.
Which is just a crazy thing to think or to say or to do when he actively lets his wife get fucked by other people, allegedly. They got the Sky Bowl, the Tennis Bowl, the Jew Bowl, like everybody is fucking the Quartering's wife, unironically. They're bedroom divorced, they live separate lives. They basically have nothing to do with each other, but yet the Quartering is going to die on this hill. He's going to be absolutely irate about someone talking shit about his wife, but the penis entering her vagina on a regular basis there's no ill will with that. You know, there's no sort of disrespect that comes with his wife actively being fucked directly in front of him on a regular basis, allegedly, of course. So seems like a really weird, arbitrary line to draw, an odd hill to die on that doesn't really make sense to me, but nobody else has ever fucked my wife, which the Quartering can't say. So
he outright said that to Josh Moon. I don't know why he said it to Josh Moon and not the casino. Maybe he wasn't talking directly with them, and I guess Josh Moon was the intermediary or whatever.
See, and the Duke Alistair was saying, I didn't know that the Quartering was going through it like that. He's not going through it. This is an active lifestyle that he's choosing to live. And one of the reasons I started this Quartering style segment with him being a fake conservative grifter, because it is like the very, I think, basic principle of self-respect of especially somebody that is conservative or a traditional leaning individual, to not have your wife actively being fucked by other men. You can't allow that to happen and have any of the stances that he claims to have. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. The math doesn't math here either. But that's, you know, again, allegedly. I don't.
So, of course, the casino laughed it off and said, what's he going to do? You know, well, again, this is just me trying to understand the situation because I don't really understand it fully because I haven't fully researched it. But from what I'm to understand, I guess he did actually do exactly what he said he was going to do. He put his money where his mouth was. And the Kino Casino Clips channel, you know, the channel that does highlights on YouTube of Kino Casino, which is exclusively streamed on Kick, this channel gets good views. They put out, you know, clips, like a clip, 2 clips a day. Each clip gets 10,000, 20,000 views. So this channel arguably is probably making like $10,000 a month in revenue and probably makes them over $100,000 a year as a side thing. It's not even their main focus, but they're making this side bank. Now, for the record,
he calls it side bank. Like it's a side hustle, but this is just an extension of what they already do. Like I get what he's trying to say, that they make the main money on the stream, and then obviously a second income on the YouTube channel, but it's all the same content with the same intent that it'll go up live and then go up on the VOD clip style. So like, let's not act like this is a side hustle. This is a second job. This is a second income when it's really not.
Andy and Ashton do not own the Kino Casino Clips channel. It is owned by their editor. Their editor runs it for them, all right? And they get some of the money from the channel, but they don't own the channel. And this is the technical aspect of it that a lot of people are confused about. Because you might say, why is that? Why don't they own this Clips channel? In fact, why doesn't Kino Casino stream on YouTube themselves? From what I'm to understand, at one point, Andy was banned on YouTube. He had a YouTube channel and he had a YouTube presence, and he got banned from YouTube. I have no clue for what reason. I don't know. I never looked into it. But I guess he did something egregious, and YouTube banned his channel. Now, when you're banned on YouTube like that, you're not allowed to operate multiple businesses and things. You're just banned. So because he was banned for, I guess it was like community issues. It was like copyright strikes. It was like community issues. Like he was breaking YouTube's terms of service, okay? If he were to try to open up another channel, YouTube would ban that one too. But there's a loophole to this. The loophole, I call it the Keemstar loophole.
I'm pretty sure that I called it the Keemstar strategy, like on my last stream when this was, I'm pretty sure I said that. If I didn't, I definitely said it in real life before this stream DSP did. So for the record, this is not an original thought. DSP stole this from my brain personally. And I do feel affronted by that. And I will hold that against him indefinitely. And there's nothing he can do to stop me.
And the reason I call it that is because Keemstar himself used this loophole many years ago to still make content on YouTube while he himself was banned from being a YouTuber, okay? As long as someone else owns the channel,
watches Atlas, I believe so. I don't actually.
You can be in the content of said channel, and that's not breaking YouTube's terms of service. Hence, if someone has a Clips channel of Kino Casino and Kino Casino only broadcasts over on Kick, right? Then that means that that channel can operate. Legally, it's allowed per the terms of service, per everything, it's allowed. So whoever this editor is who works for Kino Casino had the legal right to own this Clips channel and operate it, even if
Yeah, they really should call it the DSP loophole, not the Keemstar one, because DSP did get his AdSense shut down and supposedly used Panda Lee's for a very large portion of time. So probably the originator, DSP.
Andy was
Imagine
banned
that,
from YouTube.
scamming and
okay?
scheming, the originator,
So,
DSP.
I guess what happened was Kino Casino, after hearing this ultimatum, made a big joke of it. Ha ha ha, big deal, who cares, right? We're going to keep doing what we do, which is what they always do. You know, they're not afraid of anything. They're big and they make good money and they have a great following. So they're going to do whatever the hell they want and they feel like they're immune. Who gives a shit, right? Well, from what I'm to understand, the quartering.
And you guys are saying in chat right now that they closed that loophole, or which I don't know that to be true or not to be true. I guess heed that with salt if you're in the audience. But some of you saying that Koksky and PPP, Triple P, I like to call him, would never allow someone else to hold the purse strings. They wouldn't allow somebody else to take over that money or whatever the case might be. That might be true, but do you have to link your account, though? Like your bank account? Like, couldn't they just have him in charge of the channel and link their bank account to where the money gets paid out? And then the only thing he would really have control over is the videos, which he has to in order to edit anyway. And that would basically be it. And then he just gets his money divvied out after Ashton and them get it. That would be the way that I would imagine it would work. And if that would be the case, he would never have had the money to begin with, and there would be no worry there.
Did follow through.
I don't know. I don't know what it's like behind the scenes
was
for them.
Flagged as a violation.
It's all speculation, including from DSP's end.
Violation of YouTube's terms of service because of ban evasion. And this is what doesn't make sense. How could the channel be ban evading if the person who owns and operates the channel isn't banned from YouTube? So come to find out, some more research was done. And Andy found out his channel, his YouTube channel, had been unbanned from YouTube like 6+ months ago. I guess he knew about it, but he didn't publicly talk about it because he had no plans to use the channel or anything. It just kind of sat there. The channel had been rebanned, and he didn't even know because he wasn't paying attention to it. And it got rebanned. And then after his channel got rebanned, then the Clips channel got banned. So putting 2 and 2 together here, what it sounds like happened was someone, is it the Quartering or someone else? Who knows? Got YouTube to reanalyze Andy's original YouTube channel after it had been unbanned, found another thing that violated YouTube's terms of service on it, got it rebanned, then convinced YouTube that the Clips channel was actually Andy's other channel and got the Clips channel banned too.
Well, it sounds like, yeah, DSP solved the case. He's a fucking extreme detective, PPPI. However you want to call him. I don't know. Did he get this information from a video he watched? Like, I'm not knee deep in the trenches on this one. You know, I'm not spending all of my time looking into this, but are these original DSP ideas, or is this just regurgitated information from other people's videos? I'm not quite sure. It sounds honestly like too many dots are being connected in order for this to be of DSP's work. I think this is just an amalgamation of things that he heard someone else say. Yeah, Dent Detective at work here is a great way to put it.
It's funny because some people are like, who could it have been? Well, obviously the Quartering is prime suspect number 1, but you do realize that the casino has a lot of enemies. They do, okay? They really do. And maybe there is a very, 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 very slim chance
BB is,
that it wasn't the Quartering and it was someone else taking advantage of this situation and this public feud to do it. But yeah, in the court of public opinion, that doesn't really matter. The Quartering had this public feud with the casino, and so it's obvious if someone was going to do it, it likely was going to be him. He was the one bragging to Josh Moon saying, I have all these connections and all this power, and I could do this if I so choose. I could shut them down, right?
Right.
So what's happened is, because this happened, did you think that the casino was not going to talk about it? Of course not. This is called the Barbara Streisand effect. What you don't want to be talked about will only be amplified and made massively public by tenfold if you pull something like this. So
I hate boomers explaining to me the Streisand effect for the 9,000th time like it hasn't been around for fucking ages at this point. Like, I don't even know who Barbara Streisand is, and I know what the fucking Streisand effect is, but every old under the goddamn sun, every time that this happens, every time something gets blown out of proportion because there's more eyes on it and it's the Streisand effect, they feel like they've got the biggest brain on the planet by dropping this vernacular. It's absolutely insane. incredibly irritating, I think.
Kino decided to say, hey, to hell with this, we're going to war. And they blew this up on their show. And immediately everyone started to cover the issue and clip it. People started to go to all the Quarterings content and flag him and say, hey, how dare you do this, right? And then people started to clip the casino show. They started to clip the Quartering, and the clips were all over the internet, okay? From what I'm to understand, again, I'm just trying to understand the situation. I could be wrong on any of this, and it's fine, you know, factually call me out if I'm wrong. I'm just trying to understand it at a big picture perspective. Supposedly, the
Zoomer segment? No, it's more of a fucking boomer segment. I'm tired of the way that the olds talk. They all talk the same, it seems like, and I'm sick of them. I'm a real old hater. Okay, don't tell ALT.
Other people
we got to do Act the King one day eventually, right?
Okay, so it wasn't, oh, I'm flagging the casino for ban evasion anymore. Apparently, he started flagging clippers on the internet or anyone who covered this issue, like talking about the Quartering's personal family stuff, which I haven't. I actually don't even know what it is. I don't give a shit. I don't want to know about it. Okay, I don't.
No,
but apparently, anyone who
so then he doesn't know what's going on. Like, if he doesn't know anything about what they're claiming the Quartering is living like, or all of the dirty laundry that they're sifting through and making public or whatever, then he doesn't know the circumstances that surround it. He doesn't know whether or not this is actually right or wrong and calling him out on these behaviors publicly, because he doesn't know whether or not the claims that they're making or the dirty laundry is as public as it needs to be to justifiably be, you know, called out publicly. I know that's a lot of words there. It's a very word salad type statement. But this is just going to say that if DSP isn't actually familiar with the proper details, maybe he shouldn't be speaking on it as authoritatively as he seems to be. That's, I mean, the long and short of it. He doesn't know. Shut the fuck up.
Brought this up, okay, was then in their video getting their videos flagged for harassment purposes, which means that, you know, YouTube terms of service violation, oh, harassment, this video has a harassing part in it, so the video has been taken down or whatever, okay? So it wasn't just going after the casino. But then when the Streisand effect happened and everyone started to publicly talk about the Quartering's personal business in a public forum, he started flagging anyone who was doing it as well. So now the fear is that if anyone actually talks about the issues, the personal issues that people have with the Quartering, that he's going to hit you with a harassment claim and shut down your video and possibly your channel.
Yeah, because he's a cuck, and that's big cuck behavior.
Am I to understand, in general, do I understand the situation?
Yeah, Jeremy's film-maxing. Jeremy is becoming more and more DSP-like on a regular basis, unironically. That is just the truth of the matter.
Because before I give any opinion on it, I need to make sure that I'm understanding the situation. In a nutshell, do I at least have a summary understanding of this? Or am I wrong? Am I off on a few points? I'd like to be corrected if I'm wrong before I come to any kind of a opinion on it. Okay? Bilbo Beggin says you don't really understand anything. Well, that's just wrong. So now you're banned. What's up, Chris?
What a piece of shit this guy is sometimes.
Well, you see, that's the thing. I don't know about the personal issues, nor do I care. I don't even want to talk about them because that's not really the issue here, right? Someone else's dirty laundry or personal issues is none of my concern. I don't give a shit. You know me, I'm not a drama guy. I don't give a fuck about that. What I care about what is actually going on in this situation with the YouTube flagging and all of that, right?
Like, you don't, he says that he doesn't care about it, and you don't necessarily have to care about it to the extent that it affects your day or that you think about it extensively to any extent. But like I said earlier, you kind of are the summary of all of the actions that you've ever taken. And if he's actively taking actions that are immoral, not true to the person he claims to be, is deceitful, is lying, is underhanded, then like I said, you don't have to care about it, but to know about it and to make your assessments of individuals appropriately and accurately, I believe, is an important thing to do. So to just throw your hands up and be like, oh, I don't care about any of that, seems kind of silly when you're out here talking about the topic first and foremost.
And by the way, I have shout outs to do, and I will do them before the morning show ends. I promise you all. Okay?
We're scanning. We're looking for the moral support in the chat to say that we were right and we have the correct
take. So someone said, Andy's channel was unbanned with no strikes against it when it was flagged. Terms of service is different from copyright. I think this is a key point that people are not understanding. When it comes to copyright, there's a 3 strikes rule on YouTube where first strike Okay, it's like a warning. Second strike, you get things taken away. Third strike, your channel's banned until you get some of the strikes reversed. We're talking terms of service. That's very different. At any given moment, someone on YouTube who works for YouTube can say your channel violated terms of service and just shut your whole channel down. And all you can do is try to appeal and prove otherwise. And if you don't, your channel's gone. That's how YouTube's terms of service work. There's no levels of escalation. There's no 3 strikes, you're out. On YouTube, if you fuck up bad, you're done. You're toast. You're brown bread. That's just how it is, okay? Exactly. Indefinitely suspended. And it's weird because depending on what you get shut down for, it looks different. Sometimes it could just say this channel's not available. Sometimes it'll say this channel's been terminated. Like I've seen different things on YouTube. If it's like really egregious, it'll say your channel is terminated.
Yeah, your
that
brown
means
bread
you
is
really
crazy.
are in
I
bad
agree,
shape, and you may
Bibliofish.
not ever get it reversed at all.
And I just find it so difficult to listen to DSP on these matters because, well, first, he's a liar. But second off, he's genuinely misrepresented the way that YouTube works and every other, video platform, streaming platform has worked since he started on them. He's never in the wrong. They're always fucking up. He doesn't actually understand how the system works behind the scenes, what is actually beneficial or detrimental to him. He actively lied on Machinima, telling everybody that they told him to take down those videos because he didn't understand the way that the system was going to read that and inevitably fucked over his whole channel. So why would I believe that this guy knows anything about the way that TOS works, especially when he breaks it on a daily fucking basis, or copyright strikes work? Like, genuinely, why would I believe that this guy knows anything about anything? I don't. I can't. He's made it so.
In general, people who have their channels shut down usually eventually get them back. Even if you just let time expire, usually it's after a while, it won't be a big deal and you can get something reversed, okay? I've had things many years ago. I had things against the DSP gaming channel, all right? That was like, oh, something I said, oh, they didn't like that. They flagged it. You wait a couple years, you appeal it, and then they'll remove it. Okay, so it's not endless, but sometimes you could get permanently terminated, okay?
Somebody's saying dented analysis, pure time filler rambling. True. I don't know if you're talking about me or him, but I guess it's true for both, depending on your viewpoint.
Okay.
Definitely for DSP. Rude if it's about me.
What it sounds to me, what happened here is that, as usual, Kino Casino went after the quartering like they go after everyone. Now, you guys know my opinion on this, right? Again, I've said the same thing that the quartering said, that, listen, if they want to go after me, they want to go after my content, they want to go after my looks, they want to go after anything that I put in front of this camera every day, they have a right to. Because I'm the one who chooses to become a public figure and do this for a living, and I make a good living doing it, right? But that means that I'm in front of the public eye. Scrutiny and spectacle is part of that. And I have to understand that and roll with it. And you have to have really thick skin to be a public streamer that's going to be successful, because you're going to have people coming after you, all right? And there's not much that you can really do about it. You just got to accept that, all right? I knew that when I broke off my ties with Kino Casino a little over a year ago, that this was going to be a year of harassment. And I said, I don't care, because I'm not going to pay any attention.
Yeah, it's crazy to say that you have to have thick skin because you're going to get nothing but, harassment and berated or whatever online, when he did just ban someone for just saying that he didn't understand anything. Yeah, DSP, the thickest skin on the planet, banning people for asking who his favorite chatters are. Obviously, this guy's built like a fucking stone.
To it, and I know that most of you out there also don't care. Anyone who's actually a fan of mine doesn't give a shit about this. So why would I care? Let them say and do whatever they want. Let them make specials. Let them harass me and my family. Who gives a fuck? It doesn't affect me if I ignore it. And that's the truth. For a whole year, I ignored it, and it literally never affected me. The only time it ever did is when a bunch of idiotic morons would come into the chat and spam with whatever they were doing that particular day. And I would say,
I don't care.
And then ban the idiot and then move on with my day, and we'd be good.
But that's not even what happened. That's a misrepresentation of the actual fucking actions and events that took place. How many fucking rants have we gotten over the years, over the decades, right, of DSP freaking out about something that somebody haphazardly said just off the cuff? But yeah, we're going to pretend as though DSP is always very cool, calm, and collected and just telling people he doesn't care and then banning them. Yeah, we never get a crash out. We never get like an hour-long segment where he's freaking out about trolls. That's never happened. Why? How could it?
Okay. Now, to be honest with you, I think that's what any intelligent adult should do. Okay? That's my take. The best way to put up with an internet bully is to just fucking ignore them. Okay? There's a difference between what Kino Casino does and what other people do. And here's what I mean by that. Kino Casino talks shit.
Right.
Kino Casino tries to expose personal shit. Right? They really are an internet drama show. They're trying to be like TMZ on the internet. They're kind of like what Keemstar used to do with Drama Alert, maybe times 10 in some cases. They're like the new group doing it that's hot and popular for doing it. Correct? I think it's a good assessment. Okay? People find what they do entertaining or whatever. But if you just ignore it, not much is going to happen. All right? In the case of my case, right? I ignored it. Did Kino Casino come after me in my livelihood? Did they try to get my channel shut down? Did they try to take money out of the mouths of my wife and my cat and me? Did they try to
take money out of the mouths of my wife and my cat? Is that the sentence we just said? They try to take he's eating the money? Is that what he was really doing with it the whole time? Is that why his wife is so fat?
After me in my livelihood? Did they try to get my channel shut down? Did they try to take money out of the mouths of my wife and my
They're
cat
eating the
and
money.
Me? Did they try to steal everything? You know what I'm saying? Did they try to get me
He's
shut
eating
down?
the quarters, folks.
No, they didn't do anything like that.
Actual change.
The truth is, I think they understand the game. Okay? And what do I mean by that? They understand that if they keep it going, if they just keep it they can keep making content, right? If you shut down the person you're making fun of, how could you have content to make for your own purposes, your own profits? You need that person to keep making content so they can keep making content on them and profit from it. Okay?
But that's not even like this. That only makes sense and is true and works if the content creator in question that's doing the bullying is one who cares to do the bullying indefinitely on the same person for all of time. Which isn't even what I hope for. So I don't know why we would think that would be the case for Kino Casino, a group of individuals, two individuals, that have their interest and their hands in a couple of different pies as far as lol cows go. I don't even want to stream DSP forever. I say all the time, the day that DSP stops streaming or just is a better person or stops doing things that I find reprehensible and funny to laugh and point at, I'm just not going to stream him. And that's fine. That's totally okay and cool and fine. And I would believe that would be the same thing for Kino Casino if they absolutely shredded Jeremy to the point where he got offline and quit making content. They would just do it on somebody else and be done with it. The problem is everybody knows that lolcows are too goddamn stubborn, too fucking stupid to stop for their own good.
Some detractors don't get that. Actual detractors will try to do fucked up stuff. They'll try to steal money. They'll try to shut you down. They'll try to hit you with false copyright strikes. They'll try to do messed up stuff to ruin your reputation that actually does hurt your business. All right? I don't think that Kino Casino has ever done that. They just wanted to make a buck on my name, and so they do so. Okay, do I agree with that? No. Do I think that's immoral? Yes. Would I do it myself? Of course not. But I can't really stop them. And I'm not going to go to extreme measures to try to shut them down from doing it. I'm just going to say, ignore it and move on with my day. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm successful. Why do I give a shit about what they're saying about me when I'm still successful, right? I don't know why the quartering is taking a different opinion on this or a different direction. I'm actually like a little lost. Like what happened that was so egregious that he felt that he's taking this into his own hands again. Oh, further.
Well, he's not being very successful. I genuinely think that's why all of the Kino stuff gets under the quartering skin so much. Is not only because some of the hyperbole, some of the gilding of the lily might actually be true. All the bull talk may or may not actually be truthful. But the way that the quartering talks about his life and the interactions that he has on stream do kind of indicate that. And he's also going through the problem of not having his Rumble contract renewed. His coffee isn't selling well, if you believe what he says. Is a very shitty drop shipping coffee company. His AmFest went fucking terrible and he got stuck in Grifter's Row and nowhere near anybody that was actually, important. He didn't get any of the interviews he wanted to. It seems like the girls that he enjoys engaging with on the show want less and less to do with him and are slowly moving away from the quartering being their end-all be-all of the day. I think that's why all of the Kino stuff is getting under his skin, because he's not being successful. He's actually going through it in a variety of ways.
I should say this for the record. Apparently, he publicly keeps saying he didn't do it, even though he's on record with a conversation with Josh Moon outright saying, I will do it. I will use my power to do this. He claims he hasn't done it. He's tried to show that he hasn't flagged any channels on his streams and stuff like that. So he's trying to say it's not me. Okay? But like I said, who else would it have been unless you have someone who's really trying to take advantage of this particular timing and situation to do it? And wouldn't that be an incredible coincidence that all of this stuff was already lined up to happen, and now someone jumped on it at exactly the right time to make it look like the quartering did it all and it wasn't really him? Maybe the quartering is just the most unlucky dude on the planet. Maybe he is. Maybe it really is someone framing him and he's not doing it. I don't know. I have no evidence of anything. I don't think anyone does. We're all just guessing and assuming based on the information that's been made public on the internet, right?
But then this goes into, like, if you don't want people to think that you've done something, maybe you shouldn't have hinted or even said outright that that was your intent or that you had any sort of inkling to do such a thing. It's you know, if I said that I was going to vandalize your car and then, you know, a different enemy of yours goes to do it, if I didn't want to be associated with vandalizing your car, if I didn't want people to think that I did it, if I didn't want people to have that negative association with a car as a car vandal to me, then maybe I shouldn't have said it aloud, and I shouldn't have, you know, made people wary of the fact that this was even on my mind. It's pretty simple, actually. Just don't say things that are going to make people hate you, especially if you have no intent to do them. It's like representing yourself 101, I would believe, you know?
But here's the thing. Now we're actually going to get...
But also, yeah, DSP did seem to kind of be like... indicating maybe someone else who also has a beef with the Kino Casino did this. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I don't think that it was him. That would be insane. What a down from the rafters style moment that would be if DSP was the guy, you know? He's the hidden hand, exactly. They get a pasta maker for the 2 saying mundane Matt ass excuse. You're an idiot, Phil. Yeah.
To the real...
Well, the quartering's got that real mundane Matt ass, you know, content workflow, reading tweets and articles just haphazardly and then like shoveling them onto the internet for pure garbage purposes. Very mundane Matt ass.
The issue and the opinion. All right.
He's relevant 2 times.
Like I said, my opinion is if you don't like someone, if you want to go back at them and start a feud and benefit from it, that's one way to go at it. The other way is to ignore them. I do not believe in attacking someone's livelihood. I do not believe in attacking someone's, you know, business source of income, whatever you may say it is. I don't believe in that at all. And particularly...
But that's going to be kind of like a side effect on talking shit about somebody who's a public figure. If they do content, whether it be, you know, movies, they make video games, they fucking make content online, whatever the case might be, if they're a public figure that relies on public goodwill to continue to watch their content, talking shit about them is going to inherently start taking away from their income, from their livelihood. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's just the way that it has to be. So if that was the case, if you don't believe that you should be taking money from these people for the ways that they behave, then you basically can't talk shit about them if they're a public figure, which is just not the way that the world works.
I don't believe in it if you're actually doing it with underhanded means. For example, let's say that the quartering actually fell like Kino Casino was slandering him or defaming him with the things that they were saying publicly on their show. Well, he has a legal right to take them to court for that. There's a court system in place just for this kind of thing. You get a lawyer, you lawyer up, you show what's been said, you say this is all defamatory or slander, whatever it is, because I don't know. It would also be international law because they broadcast from Canada and Kick is based in Canada, so you'd have to have a U.S.-Canada law thing. We have to figure it out. But that's the avenue that he could have taken. He could have said, let's legally go into this, and I feel like I've been, you know, slighted, and this needs to be taken care of this way.
Thank you to the Do for the 2 saying, why did DSP let Superdog do it? Well, that's a great question, and I think that's going to get brought up later. I think that's
he decided not to do that, but instead I'm going to go behind the scenes.
Thank you for the 2.
And I'm going to pull this like real fast one on you, like sleight of hand almost, right? Like I'm going to see that Andy's channel's unbanned, and I'm going to get it rebanned, and then as it's being rebanned, I'm then going to flag another channel that we all know isn't owned by Andy, but convince someone at YouTube that it is, and then say that it's ban evading when we know it's not. That's pretty dastardly. Like, that's some dick dastardly, curly mustache, villain, tying a woman and tying her to the fucking train tracks kind of level of shit. Like, that's some fucking underhanded, dirty shit. And
I would agree. I agree. Thanks, DSP. The first correct thing that he said, probably the whole stream, that I actually have to agree with. And thank you, Dark Side Ranter, for the 5, saying he doesn't believe in attacking someone's livelihood, but was all happy to see to let Keemstar shut down Duty's monetization. Contradiction much? Well, and like I just said, in regards to if you belittle or berate or complain about a public figure, you can move public opinion of them and therefore affect their content and take money away from them. He did that with LTG and Wings on April 1st, and he did it on the stream where he talked about them before that. So, like, this is what I was talking about. Like, DSP doesn't stand for anything. He has no foundation. His morals don't actually, they're not cemented anywhere. It's all wishy-washy, in the moment, subjective. He doesn't actually have anything to foundation his morals. That's a terrible way to put it, but yeah, it is completely arbitrary to whatever DSP feels in the moment.
I guess my question would be,
that's why he's the biggest piece of shit.
How the hell did he pull it off? Who does he have on the inside at YouTube working this stuff? Because again, from everything we've been told up to now, the Kino Casino Clips channel was never ever owned or controlled by Andy. Maybe we've been lied to.
You know, Paul Turner, that is actually the exact word I was looking for. He has no epistemic grounding for his morality, and that is 100% true. Thank you for putting it exactly how I was looking for it.
Maybe it was, but if it wasn't, that YouTube channel should have a registration of a name and an address if it's made ad revenue. The AdSense account has a name and an address, and as long as neither of those are registered to Andy, it doesn't matter what content is on the channel. You can't get that channel for ban evasion. Okay? However, I will say this. I feel like, sadly, being such a public spectacle like they are, Kino Casino kind of worked against themselves in this situation, and here's what I mean. I know the way YouTube works, okay? The way YouTube works is...
I know how YouTube works, you guys. That's why I routinely put out videos that get sub 600 views, because I'm basically the king of YouTube, the king of content, the king of entertainment. That's me, the guy. Obviously. Why didn't I take that into consideration when I formed my opinion?
YouTube
oh my God.
only cares about the legality of a situation based on the information it has. So, the moment that Kino Casino Clips got flagged and shut down for ban evasion, all YouTube will care about is speaking to the person who is legally registered as the person who owns the channel, period. And literally no input from anyone else matters, because they know legally only that person is the legal party involved. They don't give a shit about what anyone else says. So when the entire internet started flagging the Team YouTube Twitter account, and you had people saying, oh, I'm going to go on reach behind the scenes and I'm going to do this and that, that just made the situation 10 times worse. Because all YouTube wants to do is talk directly to the person who owns the channel to get to the bottom of the situation. They don't want to be inundated with 7,000 people bothering them with bullshit that they don't understand. So
okay, but that's just poor business then. That's just a poor etiquette. I understand not wanting to be inundated with things when there's been a decision made and you have to kind of figure out what exactly went on to figure out what should and shouldn't be the actions taken. But to not look into something or to go against something simply because you're annoyed other people are reaching out about what they view as an injustice is spiteful and petty and short-sighted and pathetic and embarrassing and all of the things that you don't want to be as a fully grown adult with a conscious mind. So if this is the way that he thinks that YouTube is going to behave or is behaving, I think that just leads more credence to that YouTube is a bad platform with bad actors behind it that should be replaced, and further cements into history that YouTube is not the ideal platform, just the biggest one we have.
I actually feel like the whole public outcry that happened, it helped the casino because now they have the public on their side. And from what I'm to understand, they've had some of the most profitable streams they've ever had in their history in the last 2 weeks as a result of this. But at the same time, and the whole process of getting this channel unbanned, I think it worked against them. Because knowing how YouTube works, all that white noise going on, they don't want to be involved in that shit at all. All they want to do is talk directly to the person who legally owns it, see evidence that they own it or don't. Like right now, in my opinion, the best way to go about it would have been don't talk about it yet. Say we're working on it, and when it's resolved, we'll let everybody know. And then have their editor, if he indeed is the person who owns the channel, go to YouTube and say, here's all my information to prove my identity. Here's my AdSense. Here's this. I am not Andy. I don't know why you think I am, but legally, here's the evidence. And then even if he needed to, get a lawyer up, and have the lawyer get involved so the lawyer can have notaries and everything prove that this guy is who he is and he's not Andy. And then through that method, I think that the channel could have gotten unbanned. And if
but I don't even know if all of this is like relevant or important in any capacity. I don't know that getting the clip channel back is a must for the Kino Casino. Legitimately, they make enough money on the live streams, and it would be easy enough to just make another account with the traction that they have to continue posting on a different account and just uploading there instead, and then get it monetized within, you know, a fucking week because of the pull they have, the viewership that they have, you know. They could just do it all over again. I'm not convinced that they actually lost anything, to be honest. So them making content, blowing this up, and having the most successful streams they've ever had is honestly, I think, the better way to be. So I'm not sure. I think the Warski channel and the Clip channel were acceptable sacrifices. Exactly. And they're not sacrifices that can't be brought back, that can't be, you know, righted, even if it's not specifically that channel, just another one. It wouldn't take them but a day to get remonetized because the prerequisites aren't really that high for people who are, you know, as big as they are.
Well, I know my honest opinion. I think it already could have been unbanned. But I think because it was such a big public hoopla, now it's become so convoluted. And for what I'm to understand also, that I guess they already did their appeal and the appeal got denied. That's bad because YouTube basically will not give you 20 chances to appeal. You know what I'm saying? They just let you do it like the one time. And if you can get it cleared up, great. And if not, you're screwed. So I think what happened is they rushed to appeal right away thinking, oh no, we're in the good. You know, this is no problem. And it actually backfired because they had all this public spectacle going on and a million people trying to reach out to YouTube. I think maybe it might have made the situation worse. And that sucks because that's a chance.
And this is pure speculation, by the way. He has no fucking idea that this is actually the case or that they fucked themselves over with their appeal or whatever. He's just talking bullshit.
Channel that had tons of followers, had tons of, you know, views and stuff. And that's stuff that they're going to lose. And if they're going to do it again, they have to build it up again. And what's to say, whatever happened, right? What's to say it might not happen again? Like, let's say that this editor decides to make another channel or another person decides to make another channel and this is their new clips channel. What's to say someone doesn't try to do it again? What they really need to do, which I don't know if they have the ability to do, they need to get Andy's channel unbanned because that seems to be the root cause of all of their problems right now. If that channel gets unbanned, then they can't have anyone saying that there's any kind of ban evasion. But how do you get it unbanned? Why was Andy's channel banned to begin with?
Great information,
okay?
DSP, thanks.
So,
awesome.
In my opinion, the best way to go about taking care of internet bullying and trolling is very simple.
Right.
You ignore it, or you choose to go back and clap back and benefit from it. There's two options. I guess the quartering took a different option.
Yeah, he took path 3. He's literally Philmaxing. There was 2 paths before him, and he opted for path 3, the one that he didn't actually disclose. How cool is that?
At least that's what everyone is saying. I don't know if there's evidence, but that's what everyone is saying is that he took another option, and he's done this underhanded stuff on YouTube to try to get back, and now he's flagging other channels as well, supposedly. And I
he's
don't know
had
if
at
it's
least
true
4
or
or
not.
5
I've seen no
channels banned.
evidence of
DSP
it,
has no idea what he's talking about. I'm not surprised to hear that. Not at all.
obviously. But people are saying, yeah, this is the case. This is what's happening. Okay? I don't stand for that, and here's why. When you abuse the system, a couple things happen. Number one, you expose the system for its shortcomings. If the quartering actually has found a way to abuse YouTube's system and fool it into thinking that someone's ban evading, that's a bad thing. We need YouTube systems to work and be safe. We can't have people abusing them because then it leads to my second point.
Thank you, Snortle Combat, for the 2, saying do a little squim, make a little love. I'm not sure what a squim is. This is going over my head. I'm not sure what that means.
Other people will now take advantage.
Thank you for the 2. I'll
Do
be
you see what I'm
squimming
saying?
all night
if this
long.
indeed is what happened and it worked, what's to stop someone else now from stepping up and saying, well, he found the loophole. Time for us to use it on everyone we don't like. And all of a sudden, big YouTubers getting shut down for ban evasion when they're not actually evading anything, right? So that's a huge problem for everyone. That's not just a problem for the quartering. That's not just a problem for the casino or any of these clip channels. That's a problem for literally every YouTuber who's ever uploaded to YouTube. That if there is this loophole that, you know, it needs to be closed, this is really messed up. All right.
Great.
It's that simple.
Awesome. I don't know that we really learned anything. I don't know that we actually gave an opinion one way or another. I don't know that we, sided with one team or another. Like we just kind of prattled on about the topic unconfidently while simultaneously confidently. Very odd, very strange.
Okay. So you guys know my opinion on the casino. I don't like
And I think BB might have the best take in the chat. Nothing worse than Phil trying to argue a point you kind of agree with and taking your side in the dumbest way possible. Yeah, even when I have to agree with DSP, like the Neo Geo being overpriced or whatever the case might be, he always makes my side sound like the stupidest fucking side on the planet. And I'm like, I'm obligated to try and disagree with him just to make sure that I'm not being fucking stupid. And it really is a shame that I have to second guess myself simply because DSP is retarded. And I apologize for coughing in your ear. My bad.
I don't like the content they make.
It
They
was
bully me.
involuntary.
I just ignore them. That's the best way to approach it, in my opinion. If you're already happy and successful, why do you care what they say, right? So that's what I don't understand about the whole situation. If this is true, because again, this is all just speculation. If it's true, then why did the quartering take the route that he did? If he's successful and he's happy and everything's good, then why does it matter what they say about him? Just go on your merry way and ignore those jokers. Like most people do. I'll admit some people do go back and clap back at them and get into feuds with them, and they love that because that just gives them more content, right? Just ignore them and move on, and that's fine. But he chose a different path, and I don't know, man. I don't know what happened there. I don't know,
guys. That was the major conclusion after a 42-minute segment. I don't know. It was probably only about 30 minutes worth of quartering talk, but regardless, that's the stream. I hope you guys had a good day, had a good time, were entertained, at least enough for whatever chores you were doing, your lawn mowing, your dishes, your vacuuming, whatever you were doing. I appreciate your time here. Sorry for being early/late. That's my bad. 10 a.m. Maybe not next Saturday. I think I'm a best man in a wedding. So maybe not here next Saturday, but definitely the Saturday after. We'll see. I'll let you know. If I don't see you till whenever the fuck, I hope you have a safe and blessed rest of your week. Stay safe.